This podcast will hopefully contain words or statements of obscene, pornographic, or immoral character. You have been warned. You have been warned. You have been warned.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy. That's as good as it gets.
You
Fuck
could
yeah.
do.
Oh, I'm
pretty
getting
good.
better.
Yeah,
Getting
that was
fucking
good.
better.
That was pretty good. I'll give you a solid B+ for that one.
You wait till I get my fucking keyboard hooked up.
Oh my god, yeah. Can't
I already
wait
got
for
it
that.
working. Already got it working.
Oh yeah.
I just need some bites. Yeah,
Oh shit. So you've been actually doing your homework, huh?
I have been, and it's sad. So,
Nice.
so we're going to sound like a shitty Monday morning radio station. It'll be awesome.
Or an awesome Monday morning radio station. Was it that Family Guy, Dingo and the Baby? Have you
No.
seen that episode
Fuck no.
where Brian the dog and Stewie they're at a carnival or something, and there's like tryouts to be on like a local radio show, and they give them their own talk show or whatever. It's called Dingo and the Baby, but it's just like constantly just like those little sound bites in between everything they say, like Dingo and the Baby. Like,
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Well, that's my fear. So that's my total fucking fear.
No way, it's gonna be awesome.
I found a giggling track where I can laugh at you without laughing at you
Oh yes.
when you
Yeah.
say something totally fucking bizarre. I go,
Yeah, see, like I've said many times, this podcast is all about entertaining us. So if anyone's annoyed, like, sorry.
it's so fucking awesome.
Like, we're just recording shit we'd be talking about anyway, and like you just get to happen to listen to it if you choose to.
Yes. Suffer through it, suckers.
But yeah, so I thought a lot, well, maybe not a lot, but I thought more about the latest game that
Right.
we proposed last week than I have some of the other ones.
Fucker.
Just because like this one was like a little bit more intriguing to me, because I was just like, because my musical taste have changed so much over the years. So I was like, maybe there's like more of a non-punk hardcore band that I can think of that was not so great when they started out and then like maybe got better years later. However, this game proved to be, because Justin was even like, I'm having trouble thinking of something, and I talked to him and I was like, I'm really struggling with this game as well. I was like, I really can't think of anything. And then I guess I have some bands that I came up with, but
All right.
I just started thinking more about it. I was like, man, there's so many like ground rules we didn't really set for this, because it's like kind of vague. It's like it's so subjective too, because it's like what someone might say is their album that was way better later in their career. Someone else could be like, no way, dude, you're fucking crazy. Like the first record's the best one. So it's like what you even may come up with, someone would be like, you're fucking stupid. Like that's wrong. So
Right. Because my favorite Motorhead album's that one from the fucking early yachts. Like
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like that it's a fucking shredder from the word go. I can't
Okay.
remember the fucking name of it. Is it Inferno or something like that?
yeah, maybe.
And-
And like you know what? That's a great. I'm not familiar with that album necessarily, but Motorhead in general, I think, is a really good band, because I love all their music, but I do have to say that if I'm in a Motorhead mood, I'll either listen to like the greatest hits CD I have, or I listen to like some of the more modern records. Like it's just something about, and like I said, not taking away anything of the older stuff at all, because classic Motorhead is classic. It's fucking awesome, like groundbreaking shit. But I don't know. I kind of agree with you on that. But that leads into one of my picks, and it aligns very well with yours, is Judas Priest.
Okay,
Like,
those words would never escape my mouth, but go ahead.
yeah. So I love Judas Priest. Gabe and I used to fight over this all the time because he fucking hated Judas Priest. And
that's why I loved him.
yeah, and we would always like joke around back and forth. He'd always like text me like smart ass shit about Rob Halford and like just the band in general or whatever, just like fucking with me. Cause I always have really liked them. They're probably one of my favorite like 70s rock that transformed to heavy metal. They were in that whole progression of 70s to like quote unquote like real heavy metal, and they're still there. I mean, they're still playing, and they're still awesome. I saw them like 3 years ago, and they don't even have any of their original guitar players anymore, but even the two new guys they have are like really awesome players, and they sounded amazing. I mean, obviously I saw them with the original lineup too and stuff, but yeah, that was my pick because I love them, and I love every Judas Priest record. There's not a Judas Priest record that I don't like. They all have things about them that I do like. However, I do think that Painkiller is there, like when they were already shit fucking like 10 albums deep at that point when Painkiller came out. And I think that record, Painkiller, is the only Judas Priest record. Well, that isn't even really true, but Painkiller's the record I can put on and listen to from front to back every time and not skip around. And I'm like that with all their records, but they're, like some of their records have 2 or 3 songs. You're like, like I like this song, but it's like whatever. But there's like every single song on Painkiller is like just fucking brutal and heavy and like charging. And it's fucking awesome. So I was like, Judas Priest is probably my main pick for bands. I think that, and like I said, I like all their music, but Painkiller to me that's when it was like fucking like that's when they hit it.
Right. Oh, so I came up with one, and I honestly think this is one of the rare few times, well, maybe not, that production is what made it, that there was somebody like the major label put them in the right direction. Because I love 24/7 Spies.
Yeah. And
the first 2 In Effect albums were good, but they're like the songwriting was kind of scatterbrained. But like their first Strength in Numbers, when that came out, it was the same music, but somebody sat through and was like, dude, that fucking part doesn't work. You can't use it. And so all the songs are like kind of streamlined. There's a cohesive nature to them versus like just, no, I want to put this part here and nobody's going to stop me from doing it. Mm-hmm. It just showed a whole different level. And I think in like their later albums, you could see they learned from the process because like their songwriting had gotten less erratic and like had more flow to it. Like where the first 2 albums, they're fucking all over the place. Yeah, and I mean, I dug it, but it was just like,
that first one is the first one. We Are 24/7 Spies. Is that what that's called? Or is it?
Yeah. Is it, or It's Harder Than You? One of them.
Yeah. Or whatever the first one was.
With Jungle Boogie.
Yeah, exactly. Like that record's cool, but I agree. It's like, it's definitely sort of, it was a record that I could put on, and there's a couple songs on it I got into, but as a whole album, it definitely, it kind of bored me a little bit. Like I think it was just like all over the place.
And Gumbo Millennium was like the next, and it was better than the first one by far. And then they went major label, and it was game changer. Like the one time where the production or the label, somebody stepped in and kind of put a little bit of restrictions on how the car was being drove, and it made a world of fucking difference.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother angle you could go to. And honestly, the production angle of this little game could add a lot to the dynamic of the bands being picked too. And I have like a second pick that I think falls into the category of a band that got better later. And also, I think they got better later because of production getting enhanced. So, and again, this band falls into the same sort of category of like with Judas Priest with me. Like I like all their music and it all has its merit and it's all great to me. But I think the Dwarves are a really good example of a band who got better about 4 or 5 albums deep. And like, honestly, their last like 5 or 6, and they've been pumping albums out the last couple of years. And like every one, the production is amazing. And it's like, dude, they really like their songwriting is so locked in. It's like every
they're phenomenal
song's,
now. Yes.
Yeah, they are. They're like insanely good band. Like every time I see them live, it's just like they're tight. And I probably like first time I saw them was probably early 2000s or something. And they were good. But it's like the last 10 years that I've gone to see them, because we usually I've probably seen the Dwarves more than it's funny. I was thinking about this recently, and it's such an odd mixture of bands. And it's not even necessarily that these bands are like my favorite bands, really. It's just kind of worked out this way. But I think the 3 bands I've seen the most out of any other bands is Slayer, Cannibal Corpse, and the Dwarves. So it's like such a weird mixture of like all over the place. Maybe not the Slayer and Cannibal Corpse isn't so different, I guess. But
shit, that's awesome. No,
yeah. So Dwarves and Judas Priest, I think, are my 2 picks for bands who got better later.
I'm trying to think.
And maybe, like I said, it's all subjective though. Like better's not even maybe the right word. It's like they found another avenue to pursue that maybe just is where everything clicked a little better or something.
Yeah, I'll buy that. That was the only one I could think of like that. There's a definite difference from album 2 to 3, and it's a good change, and it is just a solid sound. And then it's all a matter of perspective, because then it's like, do you like the metal Suicidal or do you like the fucking non-metal Suicidal?
Exactly. So Suicidal Tendencies was a band I thought of, but then I was like, that doesn't work for me, because as much as I love most of their whole catalog, the first one's my favorite. So I'm like, I can't even fuck with that as an option, because it's like Lights Camera Revolution is a really awesome record, and it's quote unquote, musically composition better and production better, but like to me, it's not better than the first one though.
Right. Like I fucking love Join the Army. Like to me, that's
I do
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, to your point. Oh, go ahead.
No, Join the Army is the first Suicidal I ever heard, and then I went back to the first one.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Well, that was a heartbreaker too. When just we were talking about crossover, when I got fucking Join the Army, I'm like, this might not be as cool as I want it to be. Like it didn't have the same energy, but like there was something about it that was really good. Like them, I guess, looking and finding their rhythm.
But you had heard the first one before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. That one was pounded through my skull. So gotcha. There's definitely, and I think that the amount of times, I mean, because we didn't, oh my God, woe is me. I'm old, didn't have access to music like I do now. It was like, if you found a good album, it was like, you got a rotation of maybe 12 at records. Like you keep looking, but not everyone's a fucking winner.
Yeah.
So it's like you had a rotation. So like in Suicidal was one of those solid records. Like, that it was in a rotation of shit that never failed, and you could always put it on and be awesome. So that's where the kind of, falling off the wagon, or not falling off the wagon, but where the wheels fall off the wagon it was like, it so much wasn't like the first record. And even when they put the video on for Possessed Escape, I don't think Possessed Escape really matched up with what the rest of the record was. Like, no. And I think that sadly is probably the weakest song on the whole fucking record. Like that whole record is solid. And like, that's to me, probably the weakest song on there.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, Yeah, fair enough. It's funny that like that's one of my favorites off of there. So, um, but so it's interesting too because like I said, that's Join the Army's the first one I ever heard by them, which also I think has the most killer artwork they've ever had, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fucking badass.
But so I was really hooked on that, and I really liked it. But then I found out that wasn't their first record. And that was at the point where it's kind of like, even at a younger age, sort of knowing that if a band had something previous to something you already really liked, that was probably even better.
Right.
So having that mindset, I was like, oh, I got to check out the first one. And like, maybe I had heard like Institutionalized or something like that.
It was hard to fucking miss.
Yeah, but I never like heard it in its entirety before Join the Army. So, but it's funny. Speaking of suicidal tendencies, though, really quick, there's this festival that just happened in France called Hell. Well, you know what Hellfest is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know it was. I think it used to be done in the U.S. Am I correct on that?
I don't know. We'll let somebody more
maybe
intelligent answer that.
Yeah, maybe it's always been a European thing. I don't know, but either way, they did it in France, and they did like really professional, like multi-camera shoots of like all the bands. So they have a YouTube, or I don't know if it's like the official Hellfest YouTube channel, but I guess it's a company, like the media company that did all the filming for the fest. They've been putting up, because it was like a week ago, and I think the festival went on for like over like a week and a half. So like every other day they were putting up bands from the previous night or whatever. And so they're like pumping this shit out really fast. But anyway, they had a Suicidal played, and about halfway through their set, he like called for there to be like, he like called like 5 or 6 people from the audience to come up on stage with them to like help sing along.
Right.
Well, I don't know if there was like a miscommunication, like a language thing or whatever, but he was like, kind of like, you could see in the video, he like sort of like is like looking at the security guards that are sort of running that like empty zone between the barrier and the stage, like kind of looking at them being like, okay, that's enough. Cause like about 10 or 12 people had got on stage, and they like never stopped the people. And they're, dude, I'm not kidding. Like I'll link this up on the website so people can check it out. But it's
like the Anthem video times 10.
Oh, it's like the Anthem video times like 1,000. There ends up being like, I'm really bad at looking at a crowd, engaging like quantity of people, but dude, there may seriously be close to like 200 people on this fucking stage. Cause I mean, it's like a huge like festival stage, you know, where there's like big distances between the members of the band and stuff. And this stage is like packed with fucking people. And it's so bad. He like actually gets up on the drum riser and uses that as like a stage for himself to kind of like be out of it. But the 2 guitar players and the bass player are just like intermixed with like these crowd of strangers. And it like turns into like a fucking pit on the stage. And people are like stage diving off the drum riser into the crowd on the stage. And I was like, dude, they're gonna like shut this down after like a song. He's probably gonna be like, okay, like everybody like get off the stage, like this is kind of too crazy, whatever. They fucking played the rest of the show like that. And like,
oh, badass,
dude, like honestly, like it seriously almost kind of brought like a tear to my eye. It was just like so fucking awesome. Like I've never seen anything so radical at like a festival like that, where they're like, fuck the barrier. Like he really was like this. He even was like giving off a vibe like, man, this like feels like what shit used to be like. And he was like vibing on it.
Right.
Yeah, it was fucking cool, man. I was like, this is what it's all about. Like this. And not that I've ever stopped liking Suicidal, but I was definitely like, that was like a fucking like pro ass move to like keep that shit going.
Just keep
like,
going. Yeah, not getting like, no, dude, I'm a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, totally. And the one guitar player, he was like, just like all the people were like around the guitar player's microphones, like gang vocals singing with them and shit. It was It was fucking cool, man.
That's actually sounds cool. I'll have to watch it
Yeah,
when
it
you
was.
post that shit up.
Yeah, you could tell it like definitely like got them fired up. And another like cool little quick tidbit that I didn't know this till I saw the video, but Robert Trujillo, who used to play bass for them, who's in Metallica now, his son plays for Suicidal now.
Oh shit, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. That's really fucking cool.
And he
that
looks just like him. He's like a fucking mini Robert Trujillo. Like he's like kind of like a smaller dude. He's like a kind of like a little guy, but dude, he's really fucking good already. But he looks like he's like fucking 19, if 19. I'm like, yeah. It's like, I guess that's what happens when your dad's in Metallica and your dad was in Suicidal Tendencies. You pretty much get to pick what band you want to be in.
So did you watch I guess it was some kind of monster fucking documentary?
Oh my God.
Not the Netflix series, but the actual documentary.
Yes.
Where he fucking tried out for it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It was so fucking crazy. It was like he fucking won the lottery.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was already like set up. I mean, he was already like playing with Ozzy, and you know, he could have always went back to Suicidal and always been a paid musician. But yeah, I mean, it's basically like, oh, we're gonna give you $1 million just because we like you.
Fuck yeah. It's so crazy. I mean, good for him.
Yeah, no, and I was not, and I like I said, I loved him in Suicidal, and I like Infectious Grooves and stuff, but so it's definitely nothing against him at all with his playing or him personally, but I wasn't 100% sold on him as the pick for Metallica, really, but I don't know, now that he's been with them for a while, and when we saw them, like whatever that was 3 years ago now, when we saw them in Copenhagen, it was like he was like, yeah, well, that was my first time seeing Metallica. I'd never seen them.
I've never seen them.
So I was like, we happened to be over there during like festival season, and we're like, let's go to fucking Metallica while we're there, because we're gonna like be there anyway. And so yeah, it was my first time getting to see Metallica was in Copenhagen, and I have to say, dude, like, and this is horrible. I hate even to say this out loud, because it did. I think it did make the show better, and I feel bad about this, because it's like kind of like selfishly wishing sort of a bad thing on someone to get like a better like experience for your own personal satisfaction. But apparently when we saw them, James Hetfield was in like the midst of his like relapse on alcohol.
Oh god.
And then like seriously, like 3 weeks after that show is when I think they finished out that summer leg of that tour, and then they took like a couple months off because he went back into rehab. And I definitely remember thinking, like leading up to that show, like I'm stoked to finally see Metallica, but like I don't know, I've like some footage I've seen of them, it's like sometimes, like some nights he does more like old school James vocal style, but then sometimes he gets more into the like yeah whoa stuff, which I could take it or leave that shit. Like I understand he's trying to preserve his voice and all that, but I don't know. I was kind of like, what James are we going to get? Well, I think we definitely got like old school. He was like drinking before the show, James, and it honestly made a difference because he seemed like more aggressive. His vocals were like more hard hitting, and he was singing like more old style.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, dude, they're like, he sounds fucking amazing tonight. Like, this is fucking awesome. And then we found out like 2 weeks later, he was probably like hammered at that show. I was like, oh, like, I kind of feel bad, but like cool for us. But really quick though, the other thing crazy about that Metallica show is we met some people. And what's crazy is we walked into the stadium, and so we just bought tickets. Like Trisha bought tickets, but I was gonna say, did you buy them before you left? Oh yeah.
So you had the tickets lined up when you landed. It was already a done deal.
Yeah. So basically, in addition to us doing like our 2-week trip over there, we actually planned to like do some shows while we were there too. So we went to that Metallica show, and we also saw Rammstein in Prague. which was fucking awesome. It was in like one of the like big ass like soccer stadiums over there. Well, that's where the Metallica show was too. But yeah, dude, it's whatever. Like, not that crowds here don't like get kind of crazy at like stadium shows, but European stadium shows, that was my first time experiencing that. And like what you were saying last week about how, I actually thought about this, is like you were saying about how, you know, like you don't really like bigger shows like that and stuff. I think if you went to like a stadium show in Europe, it would change your mind. Because it's going to a stadium show in Europe is like going to like a hardcore show on a small club. It's that same vibe, but with like 60,000 people.
Ugh. So now with that being said, does that ruin your experience here?
I don't know if it ruins it, because like I said, I kind of go to shows for a lot of different reasons now than just the music. So, no, I don't
hang out and look cool.
No, well, yeah, I don't, but yeah, that's just happening naturally though.
Gotta be there.
I'm always,
you gotta represent.
Come on. But yeah, no, I think it's just different over there. I don't know. I just think that Europeans just really love their metal. And I think I don't know. It's like music over there is so different. I think, and just to put it into perspective, when we were like, you know, like that's the cool thing about Europe is you can travel everywhere by train. It's like once you get there, wherever your initial destination is, you can travel pretty much everywhere in Europe by train. So that's really cool. So when we went to Denmark first, and then I think so. I can't remember, but anyway, we were taking a train from Prague to Germany, and I remember there was people on the train from Prague to Germany that we could tell were at the Rammstein show.
Oh, nice.
So people were like traveling from Germany to Prague to see them. Which makes sense because they're a German band. So people probably follow them around over there and stuff like that. But just like, I don't know, just even like the logistics of being over there is like so much better for if you're into music, like traveling to see a band. Like obviously, well, like prime example, my good friend Jordan, he just went to see Ween in, I think they're playing in Montana, I think. They were playing in Montana this week, and him and his girlfriend, they flew to Montana to see Ween, and they got there, and one of the dudes in the band had COVID, and they canceled the show.
Oh, that fucking blows.
So not only is that gut wrenching that you're, you know, whatever, they're, you know, they still were going to do some other stuff while they were there anyway. It's not like they were just going for that, but it's kind of, you know, it's just like a bigger ordeal here to go to a non-local show. It's like, you know, to fly somewhere, pay for your flight that's non-refundable if the show gets canceled. Whereas like in Europe, if you take the train to a show and it gets canceled, you're maybe out, I don't know, $50 for your train ticket to travel like across 3 countries. So it's like, it's even just like the little things like that. It's just not as gnarly if you're like someone who tries to travel to a show like frequently. But anyway, on that same token, at that Metallica show, we started chatting with some dudes that were like right by us. So when we went in with our tickets, we didn't know where we were going to be. Like, we didn't know if we had seats, if we were in like nosebleed, like we really didn't know. So we go into this line, give the lady our tickets. She looks at them and she points us down this hallway. So we go down this hallway, and then we're like, this can't be right. There's like no one around. Like, we must be like going the wrong way or something. So then we finally get to this like dead end, and you have to turn right. And we turn right, and we like walk right out. And we're like, I'm not kidding, dude. We were like 20 feet from the stage.
Oh,
like
really? Awesome.
In the standing area, like down on the field. And we're like, this can't be right. And I think we even went and like double checked with someone, like, are we supposed to, like, can we be here? And they're like, yeah, this is like where you're supposed to be. So I guess like our general admission tickets were for like down by the stage, which kind of here would be the opposite. Like, you would pay like way, 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 way more to stand that close. So And that stadium was packed, dude. It was completely sold out. Somehow we got like right up front, and we ended up talking with these guys who they were from the Faroe Islands, which is actually like this chain of islands that's between, like, if you're flying from New York to Iceland, these islands are maybe like 200 or 300 miles west of Iceland. So it's like maybe like a 3-hour flight from New York or something. So these dudes live on this island, and these dudes are probably in their like early 30s, I would say. And the one guy who we met, and he was super rad. We actually took pictures with them and stuff. They were super nice. We kind of hung out with them the whole show. Not only was it his first time seeing Metallica, it was the first show he had ever been to in his entire life.
Holy shit.
And I was like, dude, that's insane. And he was like, I was like, this is my first time seeing Metallica. And he's like, yeah, me too. And he had a crazy accent. And he's like, this is my first show ever. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. And then like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you guys don't have like bands there? He's like, no, like not really. Like, I mean, whatever. He probably saw like a local band or something like that, but he had never been to like a big show. And then like a year after that, when we went to Iceland, I went to a record store and was chatting with the owner of this record store. And he was explaining to me, because he's like, what all bands have you seen? Because he was intrigued by me being from the US. He's like, what all bands have you seen? And I was like firing off all these, because this record store was kind of more like heavy metal based. So I was just kind of like listing heavy metal bands I'd seen and like crossover kind of bands. And it was the first time in my life where it really hit me how
spoiled you are.
Well, how spoiled we all are.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're someone who rarely goes to a show, you've still seen more fucking shows than anybody in Iceland has like ever seen. Like, he was saying that they're like, a lot of the, like, some people will maybe see 3 shows in their entire life, and it's because they're like flying to Europe to see like one big show. They'll see like one big show like every couple years or something.
Right.
I'm like, dude, that's insane. It really made me think, like, damn, well, I mean, we all are, but like, I'm especially spoiled. Like, I go to a lot of shows, like, so it's crazy to think about only seeing maybe 3 or 4 shows your whole lifetime. Like, that's sad and horrible.
Yeah, that's not anything I think I would have been happy with.
No.
I mean, now that I'm old and don't like to leave the house, it's a different story, but
but even still though, you've already been to more shows this year than some people have been their whole life in that country. And like, and you're lazy and don't go out, and you've already seen more shows.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, that's so crazy. I can't even imagine. So yeah, that went on a weird tangent. I don't know where the fuck we were at.
Oh, we were talking about the game, but
we started the Metallica talk.
Yeah. Well, so I'm still committed to, I want to think more about the current game, because I think the examples we came up with today are good ones, but I still think there's like that weird one we were both going to find where we're like, oh, like this is the one that like really fits this, like this, like kind of like dynamics of the game. But another thing, not really necessarily a game per se, but something that came up on a video I watched this week. And I've thought about this before, but this guy did some interviews with some people, and I was definitely curious to get your opinion on this. So it was people, just for lack of a better term, like mainstream people who wear punk, hardcore, and metal shirts, who, have never heard that band or know anything about that band. Like, they're ironically wearing it as like a fashion thing, like Kim Kardashian wearing a Slayer shirt and like that kind of shit. Like, what's your opinion on that? Because there was definitely, this guy interviewed a bunch of different people, and everyone had some pretty unique takes on that. So
it's funny because I've seen it. I think the Thrasher stuff's the one that really gets me more than anything. That's
a good one. Yeah, that's
dude. Like, we were walking in the mall up in Delaware, and there was some woman that rolled by, and I was like, she has no fucking clue what that is. there's no way in hell that she knows what Thrasher is.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I think it's funny because I think Gavin's gotten called out on it. He was wearing a Wu-Tang Clan shirt somewhere, and somebody started quizzing him, and he was able to answer all the questions. Okay. But it was like, I think it was like calling him out, you know. I think it's funny. I don't know. I think it's I'm not biggest poser word. I'm not stoked on it because I mean you got to get there at some point. But yeah, I don't, as a fashion element, I don't know. It's hard.
Well, so there, like I said, there was a lot of different opinions that were expressed. And I think the overall consensus, and, you know, they were asking a lot of like dudes in like kind of like legitimate bigger bands. So it was like actual kind of like interviews with, you know, real musicians and stuff. And I'd say the overall consensus was like most people didn't care about it. They're like, just like, wear what you want. Like, it doesn't affect me or bother me. So like, why should I care? And you know, I guess they were like, it would be hypocritical to like judge someone for wearing a Slayer shirt if they don't know what that is, based on the fact that punk and hardcore and heavy metal people have been, you know, ostracized for how they dress. So to ostracize someone else for how they're dressing is like, you know, it's like kind of hypocritical maybe. But I think this one dude, he like really summed it up. I think he aligned with sort of how I feel about it the most. Is I don't really care what anybody wears. Like, wear what you want. If someone who like listens to jazz and they're famous and they want to wear a Slayer shirt, like, I don't care. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. But his other point though is that where he sees where there's an issue is that people in punk and hardcore and metal sort of took the brunt of society being made fun of for like wearing shit like that. So it's become like this protective sacred thing where it's like it belongs to it, like quote unquote belongs to us because we endured the pain of the ridicule of wearing the shit.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it's basically like we like earned the right to wear this shit and you haven't, and you've like turned it into like a fashion thing and like made it popular. So I guess, and I think maybe even that opinion of it's maybe a little ridiculous, but I see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
I feel like I fall somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't care, but I also, I don't know. Like, I think so, I don't care, but it is, I get where he's coming from.
Honestly, to think about it, any publicity is good publicity, whether you can back the band or not.
Yeah.
You've at least made awareness of that product. And maybe one of the 25 people that buy that Thrasher t-shirt, it's going to go, what the fuck is Thrasher? And they actually go look it up and maybe become interested. I think the part that would bother me would be if you were like one of the classic bands and you became a fashion element, but you weren't getting any of the kickbacks from it.
Oh, right.
Like you've taken my icon, my identity, and you've marketed the shit out of it, and I'm not seeing anything from it. That to me would be where I would be upset, because I think getting the name out, like I think it's awesome to, you know, to me it was awesome that Thrasher made it to that level, but then the backlash was like, there's no fucking way you've ever seen a Thrasher magazine or know anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. It could be somebody's mom who fucking skated, but I'm not buying it.
And I think the opinions on that will like change over time more too. Cause I think we're from a time when punk rock and skateboarding was like not cool at all. And you got made fun of for doing both of those things like quite frequently. So I think we probably are definitely a little bit more sensitive to quote unquote posers like wearing stuff that we hold sacred, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think, as you know, skateboarding and punk rock is way more accepted now. So I think like kids probably just don't even maybe see it the same way as what we do. But then there was another guy, and he really had a really good take on it. He was like, you know what? He's like, mainstream people have finally realized how awesome graphic design and imagery in heavy metal and punk rock is. And he's like, they're wearing the shirts because they're fucking killer designs.
Yeah, that's that. You know, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that I was like, wow, that's a kind
I
of
mean, that falls back to the conversation we had just about like the classic bands and their logos and shit that is just iconic. People recognize it and they might not even know, like the Ramones. Like, I don't see that seal for anything but the Ramones.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like they've earned it. Like I said, the saddest thing would be if nobody gets kickbacks from it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I didn't even really think about that angle. What's funny, you brought the thing about Gavin with the Wu-Tang shirt, because after I watched that video, it led me to this other video, which leads me into a game that I think would be fun to play. Maybe not, I don't know, because if I like tell you what it is, then you kind of have time to think about it. But what he did is he went around to like this music fest. It was like some heavy metal festival or something. And he would walk up to people with a specific band t-shirt on, and he would ask them to name 3 songs from that band. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be hilarious. I was like, this is kind of fucked up though. I was like,
yeah, I was going to say, it's like you can, up, but
I was like, this is going to be funny. Like whatever. Like, I'm not going to like make fun of anybody who can't name a song, but like, it's just going to be funny to see like what the reactions are. And dude, it was like a pretty long video. He interviewed a bunch of people, and as the video went on, I really started to kind of like think about it in my own mind. Like, dude, like if someone came up to me and put me on the spot, and then I was like, man, because like a lot of people were failing, and like some people were wearing like Metallica shirts and Slayer shirts and like stuff like that. And they obviously looked like people who should know at least 3 songs by those 2 bands. But then I got to think, I was like, dude, I don't know. I was like, I love music, and I like a lot of different kinds of music, and I like a lot of different bands. And I have a lot of bands that are my favorite bands. And I got to thinking, I'm not necessarily a person who knows song titles of bands. Like I can hum an entire song to you and maybe even recite lyrics, might not know the song title.
I was just thinking like Swizz. I can go ghost tune. Oh, draw. Okay, I can do that. Okay, that was a little bit. Actually, I had to think about it because I just got stuck on the first album. I was like, I can't go past that. But all right, I got 3 on them.
Yeah,
but that's definitely, because
it's not as easy as you think.
And what if you've gotten the old school dub, have no idea what the song titles are?
Yeah,
and totally. Then all of a sudden you've equated a song title with something that's not ever mentioned in the song or something random.
Yeah. So
you say that song and it's not the fucking title of the song. You have no clue what it is.
Yeah. Well, and he, it wasn't timed at all. He was, so the people didn't feel pressure to like, they have to name something in a certain amount of time. It was just, and it was crazy too, like seeing the people's reactions. Like as soon as they would ask it, you'd see like the immediate like horror in their face. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't think I'm going to like, they'd be like, a lot of people were like, I love this band, but I know I'm not going to be able to name 3 songs. And I'm like, like you're a fucking poser. But then as the show went on, I was like, dude, I think I might fucking fail at this too.
I'm trying to think if there's shit that I have that I wouldn't be able to name like 3 songs from like off the top of my head. That's a tough.
It's hard. Like, cause I was even trying to think of a band to hit you with that I know is a band we both are like really familiar with, but the ones I came up with, I was like, dude, he'll definitely get those. Like, well, I was like, name 3 Black Flag songs, like as fast as you can.
No Values, Police Story, and Revenge.
Yeah. See, that one's not like a great one. Um, the other one I thought of too was Reagan Youth.
Fuck. Because I do all the old ones. It's like, or new ones. It's like Queen Babylon. Oh shit. In the Garden is like my favorite one. And then you could do whatever. What was Run Spot's run actual title? Anytown.
Yeah.
But the first album, besides Anytown, it'd be hard to actually name the songs off of it.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was interesting that watching that video really made me realize how little I know about songs. Like as far as the titles,
right?
Like if that dude was like, name me 3 whatever band songs, I'd be like, I can't name you the songs, but I can hum them to you.
What? So I think the false leading name is a good game too. Like come up with a song title and then guess the song that it's with.
Yeah.
Meaning, what? Oh shit! Who does that a lot? I'm trying to think. Oh, what's the Evanescence song?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know anything about that band.
Oh my god! But whatever their popular, their big hit, what everybody thinks the name of the song is, it's not that. It is something completely different. Like she says it like once in the fucking song.
Gotcha.
And then like the chorus is all completely different. Now I got to look it up.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God.
I mean, like literally the extent I know about that band is that they have a female singer. Like I don't know anything beyond that about that band. I mean, I know they're kind of metalish or whatever, but that's not really like my thing.
Oh, it's Bring Me to Life is the name of the song, but it's the like Wake Me Up Inside song. Oh, you knew it, and I'm not fucking singing it.
I was gonna say, can you sing it for me?
No, I'm not.
No, I'm kidding because I know she's like a really good
Daredevil.
singer.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. I mean, Blythe likes her, like she likes her, like her vocals and stuff. So
oh wait,
I'm not doing it. Fuck you.
No. Amy is her name Amy Lee? Is that her name?
Yes.
Oh yeah. For some reason her name came to me. I don't know why.
Oh, I don't know. Look, see, you're trying to play cool. You don't know who I was talking about. Like, now all of a sudden, oh, it's her name, Amy Lee.
Well, I know about her because of her singing in that band, but yeah, I maybe have heard the song you're describing, but
you have. I'm not fucking doing it. Somebody can call you and sing it to you. Not me.
Just like say it though. You don't have to sing it.
No,
you were gonna do it.
No, I'm like thinking about it because I can only think of the chorus. And go watch Daredevil, the old fucking one with what's his name in it, Ben Affleck. It's in there.
Is that like the song in that movie?
I think it's like him getting all pumped up or something. And yeah, whatever. Not fucking singing it.
Okay, so this is a completely different trajectory, but that what you just said about the song in that movie made me think about this. And we don't have to spend a bunch of time on this. I'm just curious what your opinion of this is. When a TV show or a movie is like a period piece, but they utilize modern music.
Oh, you went a different way with that question than I thought.
Or even
I don't like it.
Okay. Or even if they so you say you don't like it.
No, like I'm thinking of like they do a Robin Hood recently or something, and it, like the soundtrack was definitely more contemporary and not kind of like the classical like John Williams score or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It kind of ruins to me. I want to be taken back and kind of, even if you're modernizing the tale, I don't want like modern music in it.
Well, so I should probably clarify it. Like modern music that is not, that doesn't sound like it's from that time. Like it can, like, not modern music that is modern, but is recorded to sound like something older. It's like you can tell it's new when you're listening to it in the show, but it sounds like it's could have been from that time. Like metal version of music from that. Like the example I can think of is like Peaky Blinders. I don't know if you watch that show.
No,
but
mine's Bridgerton. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So like Peaky Blinders, they have a lot of like soundscape music in that show. That's like just kind of dark. It's like synthy kind of when like shit's happening or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then occasionally they'll have some weird like Irish folk sounding song, but it has like weird fuzz distortion or something like that. But it fits. What I'm thinking more of is like if a movie or a show is like from the 1800s and they're playing like whatever 1800s music would be for that time, most of the movie, and then all of a sudden there's a scene where they put in like a fucking like Everclear song out of nowhere, and you're like, why is this fucking here?
Yeah,
like
yeah. Oh no, fuck you. No, not gonna. That's shit.
Yeah, that ruins it. Like that's horrible. Like why? It's like somebody's like fucking cousin is like making that movie and was like, hey, can you get my fucking son's song in the fucking movie? I hate that shit.
So what I do dig is I like Bridgerton did. I forget what the quartet is that does like, or they take the music from, but they did like a Wang Chung song and it was fucking badass. But like on Westworld, they do like the player piano plays like all these fucking songs, but it sounds like player piano music. But if you pay attention, it was like Amy Winehouse. They did who did Black Hole Sun? Them, and they did a Cure. Yeah, so it was like a Cure song. So it's all these songs, and you'd be like, I'd be watching it, and they be in like the bar scene, and you listen to it, and you're like, I was like, I know that. And I'll start like it might take 20 minutes to work it out in my head where the fuck I know it from. And then all of a sudden it clicks. I'm like, I dig that. Like, I think that's cool, but not interjecting like new songs in with like, no. Fuck that.
Yeah. Like what you were saying. I like that too. Like the secretive stuff where it's like they're making it sound like from that time, but maybe it's something like newer. Like that's cool. Yeah. I hate when, like I was saying, like you're watching this movie and it's awesome, and then all of a sudden it's just like some blatant song in that for like no other reason than someone just owes someone a favor or something. Like well, like
or the film company wants to push the song.
yeah, exactly. Like whatever reason, that's horrible. But so it's funny. I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. You just made me think of a band. Name 3 songs. Oh no, see, I think you'll be good at this one too. I was gonna say name 3 songs by The Cure.
Oh, what's that? Killing the Arab Caterpillar and Straight Love Cats. There.
Okay, yeah. I figured you'd be good at that one. I didn't.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just trying to catch you. I'm scared of that game, honestly, because I know like I will fucking be bad at that game.
How about Clutch past the first 3 albums?
Clutch past the first 3?
Yeah. Well, that's not including. I'm counting Pitchfork, that EP with Violent whatever in the first album. Actually, yeah. I'll let you go with Space Grass from Clutch.
So self-titled on name 3 songs.
Yeah. Now it's easy because I just thought about something and it was easy.
Definitely like letting me have the second record on makes it easier. But if it was like the third or fourth record on, I'd be probably fucked.
Actually, the third one you'd be fine with. It's after that with the Jansport backpack. I forget what that Pro Rock Fury. I think after that,
oh yeah,
it's a little bit tougher. But like Elephant Riders is like the third, fourth, whatever. And that one's easy because that was a fucking phenomenal record.
Yeah, that's a great one to stump with song titles though. If you wouldn't have like kind of given me so many hints, I would have maybe failed that. Because I think of Big News 1 and 2. I'll count that as like one song. Space Grass.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Elephant Riders.
Fuck yeah.
But that one could have caught me. If that would have been a timed one, if that would have been a timed match, I may have lost as much. See, and that's great because as much as I like Clutch, I may have fucking failed that.
How about Cro-Mags? Could you do 3 Cro-Mag songs off the top of your head?
Sign of the Times, We Gotta Know, and I'm thinking of the second song.
I was at Malfunction.
World Peace.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah, but anything past that, I'd be fucked.
Yeah, because I don't like the second record at all. I don't
That
like
fucking
Harley
blows.
Cro-Mags.
I tried. I tried. I think the last 2, and I get like halfway through it, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like, it's just.
I got a good one.
Oh yeah.
Name 3 exploited songs.
Oh, Mucky Pup. I Hate Coppers, and oh shit, Let's Start a War.
Yeah, I feel like that's one that could be tough too.
It could be. Oh yeah.
That's one I thought of for myself actually, because I was like, I love Exploited, but would I fail that game? And I was like, no, I think I got that one. So because my thoughts were Jimmy Boyle, Alternative, and I think one of the ones you said, the last one you said,
Let's Start a War.
Yeah.
I mean, that fucking record's awesome. So it's cheating because you should have added the disclaimer, and it can't be the name of the record. That would have been a little bit fucking tougher.
Yeah. The Clutch one's really got me fucking tripped out because I'm really trying to think.
Like Regulator, Basket of Eggs, and Butterfly on Elephant Riders?
Dragonfly,
yeah. I think that one.
I'm not sure. Dude, honestly, it's been a really long time since I've listened to any Clutch. I'm kind of, I still like them, but they're just not a band I really fuck with too much anymore. I haven't heard their I think the last record I bought of theirs was Strange Cousins from the West. And that record's from like fucking 12 or 14 years ago now.
Yeah, man.
Just kind of, I don't know. They became too formulaic. Like, I think maybe there's a lot of people will disagree with that, but it's like, it's almost like their exceptional musicianship was like the downfall of that band. It's like they became so good at what they do that they became this well-oiled machine. It's like they need to have a part break so they can get more creative.
Right.
They need to have something fall off the car so they can like do something different.
The new song was pretty good. That came out, I guess, last month. I can't remember the name of it because they are very formulaic, and it all kind of starts to bleed together.
Yeah, like I just think the first like 3 or 4 records are just really, really, really awesome and unique and original sounding music. And then like once they became like a 70s super group and got way too good at their instruments, it's just like, I don't know. Like you said, it's like predictable now to me.
Yeah, I do dig the fact that they do play a lot of old shit. Like they keep posting up their set list, and it is just it's a pretty good blend of everything. It's not just we're not playing any of the hits, and like they actually like acknowledge Wicker, right? That's the name of the 45. I think I don't remember I think it was Wicker.
Did I ever tell you the story about when Dave and I went to the beach for senior week? We met the singer Clutch's sister.
She dated somebody famous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's funny. I was wearing a Clutch shirt on the boardwalk in Ocean City, and Dave might recall the specifics of this better than I do, but we were walking down the boardwalk, and she, like, I don't know, she was like, cool shirt or whatever. We just started talking, and she's like, yeah, like Neil's my brother.
Oh, and that's fucking
we were
cool.
just like, what the fuck? We're like, no way. But I think she ended up being on like some like baking show or something. Like she has like a cake shop in Baltimore or something. I think she was on like some cake baking show competition thing or some shit. I don't know. Could research that, but yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
I think her name's Mary.
Yes, Mary Alice.
Yeah.
She was with Charm City Cakes.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. They were on some show or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they were on the Food Network. It's funny, is a couple of those guys actually worked in our office.
What do you
that
mean?
work in the cake shop. Like his second hand, his right hand man, he was like one of the model makers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's just funny because you see it when it was on, you'd see it and you'd be like, I know him. I know him or her. It was just, it's funny. I think we
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was like, we employed a lot of the artists for a while.
Yeah.
Especially when we were busy with our big convention season.
Are you talking about at your old place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys do model building at your new place?
We are getting ready to build one.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
Not too often.
Yeah.
Like, I think when we first started, we had one built for us. And then we built one in the office. And then we started another one. The fucking topo. We had a very young person cutting the topo out for us.
Yeah.
And it was so bad.
Yeah.
Like the question was, what can we do to save this? And my response every time was burn it. It was so he gave it a good try. It just wasn't good.
Yeah. I remember I always wanted to come down and work with you guys doing that. I still say that's like my dream job I want to have one day, as I want to model build for somebody.
That's so great.
Yeah, it's fun. Looks fun.
There was a guy that we worked with that went to school specifically for model building. I'm like, really?
Wow.
Yeah. It was just, I heard totally blown away. I got to think of his name. It was Me Day, but he's in Chicago and I think that's what he does. Like he found a job out there building models, I believe.
That's insane. Yeah, look, good for him. That's awesome. I'm jealous. Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like all this shit that I've done throughout my life, like craft kind of stuff and just tinkering with different shit. It's just, I feel like everything I sort of know how to do, like on my side stuff is like, would just be like ideal for that being my profession. But it's like, it's just so few it's not like you can like look up like model building jobs and like, oh, cool, there's 5 of them. It's like, no, there's like none.
Yeah, but well, I mean, I think things have changed drastically in every facet, like where they don't build them as much for movies anymore.
Yeah.
You don't build it much in architecture anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like I have a friend that works at the that builds models for the government, and they build like this is what a bomb looks like those type of models. Like they build like fake shit.
Yeah.
The fake real, like they're more props than they are anything else. They're building like life-size props of stuff.
Yeah, and everything's like
examples.
3D printing now too, so that takes a lot of the like hand stuff out of it too.
And they have a fucking phenomenal 3D printing shop. I can't imagine what it looks like now. I went 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It felt like I was totally wasting my life. I was like, we do fucking shopping malls and these guys are out fucking helping out the army.
Do you fuck with your printers anymore?
I haven't. Fred's been using his a lot. He built this fucking cool elephant skull guitar holder.
Oh, cool.
It's really fucking badass.
I didn't even know he had one.
Yeah, I don't know when they got one, but I haven't. Well, if we start the next model, we'll probably break them back out. Like we've used it on one of the models in the office we built, like it was done all about storage containers. So
okay.
like I just pumped out just model container after model container after model container. Like it was, but it was cool. The fucking printer ran nonstop for 3 weeks, maybe 4.
Breathe deep.
And but I don't know. It's fun. I love it. I don't have time to do half the shit I want to do.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Never enough time. Well, so I had multiple ideas for a topic for today.
Oh yeah.
But I think the one that I was gonna pick, unless if you don't have an epic idea, I'm gonna go with mine.
No, but I'm going to piss first.
Okay, so piss break.
Piss break. Roll tape. Cue music. Ouch, fuck.
It's time for an official Potty Mouth Podcast potty break.
Oh, that was super cute. We both peed the exact same length of time.
Oh, no, I was saying the boys' bathroom is fucking disgusting. Oh my God.
I can only imagine, dude. Make them clean that shit.
I know. Amanda just said the same thing.
It's fucking foul. I just cleaned our bathroom, actually. Well, actually, I cleaned the whole house a couple days ago.
Boy. We paid Blythe to do that shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That's how she goes to all our K-pop and concerts.
Ah, gotcha.
Because I told her I'm not buying fucking tickets. But
all right. So
before we jump into the topic.
Okay.
Wait. Anyway, so Justin did send us a list of bands who petered out after the fourth or fifth album.
Yeah, it was a good list. It was a very thorough list.
Jesus Christ. I don't have time to think about shit like this. So Creator, don't listen to him. I'll defer to you.
I didn't really agree with that one. I think that they're a band. I mean, I get where he's coming from on that, but I like a lot of the like more modern Creator records just as much as the old stuff.
Okay. Anthrax. Huh.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I agree.
I agree with that one. I do, however, really like the first comeback record they did in like 2010 with Joey Belladonna, though. It's called Worship Music. That one's actually really good.
I think I'm going to listen to that one.
Yeah. The second one with him, though, I didn't like as much. The first one's good, but I agree. I think the John Bush era of Anthrax was just dreadful.
So,
except for, we're going to agree on that, on the re-recorded. The
Lesser Two Evils is fucking awesome. Like,
I do agree. I like that. That's the only John Bush Anthrax that I like, is the one where they re-recorded the old songs with him singing.
Yeah.
That's not true. I do like some stuff off of We Come For You All too, though. I think there's some good stuff on that record. But
Circle Jerks.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I kind of like all the Circle Jerks records, even the major label one I like.
Well, I don't even. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Is past 6? Do they have any?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
Was it Oddities, Abnormalities, and something? I forget what the full title's called. But it's got the song on it, the Debbie Gibson duet with Keith Morris.
Yeah.
That song's actually really cool. I like that song.
Oh my God. Okay.
There's a lot of good songs on that record, actually. I think it's very underrated.
Oh my God. All right, come on.
I know a lot of people probably disagree, that they probably think that record's shit, but I think it's really good.
Oh fuck. There's promoting her tour. So all right, I'm done trying to figure out what other songs I did. All right, on to the next. Metallica.
So this is a tough one for me because
my God, if you tell me you like all the new shit, I'm coming across the fucking screen and beating the shit out of you.
No, I wouldn't say
Okay.
Yeah, I would prefer to skip my answer for this, because I think this is just gonna open up a can of worms. It's just gonna need like a lot of discussion, and I'm not afraid to talk about this. I would just prefer to maybe do it at a later time, when maybe this might be something to talk about when we have a guest on, because I think I would rather be ganged up on by 2 people than just you. Because I already know that's what's going to happen. It'll just be way more entertaining.
All right. Sepultura. I don't remember how you used to say it.
Sepultura, I 100% agree. Like, it's the Cavalier brothers or like nothing. So I know that there's like the modern Sepultura camp that like thinks the current version of the band, which has been the band for 20 years now or more, that they love that version. But to me, Sepultura is the original dudes, the Cavalera brothers, and if they're not in the band, like I don't give a fuck. So once Max left the band, that's when I was over it, because I think the new guy seems like he's a really cool dude. In interviews I've seen with him, he seems really nice. He's a pretty cool front man. I don't dislike his voice, but they've just become a completely different band that I just can't fuck with. So,
okay. Yeah. Voivod.
You know what? I have tried multiple times to get into Voivod, and I don't dislike them, but I've never found the fever for them like Gene and Justin have. Like,
so it's funny is I've never liked them. I've always fucking just laughed at them. But I guess when I was hard up and listening, it popped up as a new album, and I actually made it through the album and liked it. It was bizarre. I mean, that was probably 2 years ago. I mean, it was but it was better than what I was expecting. How about that?
I got you. Yeah, and
and Ringworm's opening for them, so I'm going to be excited.
That's cool. Yeah, I've tried multiple times over the years to get into them, because I just this is another bit, and I don't want to interrupt you from your list, but just really quick.
No,
and I know that this is probably a point of contention for a lot of people, and I do have songs by this band that I do like, so I don't like hate them or anything, but I would put these guys in the same category as like a Voivod for me, of just a band that I've tried multiple times to like, because I feel like I'm supposed to like them, but I can't get into them, is the Minutemen.
Oh, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, see, like
oh my God.
Everyone hates me when I say I don't like the Minutemen.
Are a fucking moron.
And I do like, there are songs by them that I do like, but overall, I haven't been able to fucking get into that band. I can't do it. They're like a Voivod for me.
Oh, that is painful.
Yeah.
That is uncool. You're like getting booed right now.
No, I know.
I have a boo key on my keyboard. And if that bitch was up and running right now, you'd be getting booed left and right.
Yeah.
Because that is horse shit.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, man, I'm telling you, I've tried. Justin and I have talked about this many times, because he's a huge fan of them. And I feel like I've let him down because I just don't like them. But every time, like every few years, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to try to listen to them again. And I'm always like, text him. I'm like, dude, listen to the Minutemen again for like the 17th time to try to like them. And I like still don't get it.
So that was one of the albums that I got it from I guess he's with my cousin, but I got it from John Winnington. And recorded it because I dubbed, like he was actually awesome, because he expanded, like out of, like I said, the tried and true, like 12 albums in the rotation. He helped expand it out. Like he give me shit that there's no way I would have heard of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard of the Minutemen because it was in all the fucking commercials on the Black Flag, Everything Went Black record, but like I never really listened to them. When I got them, I was so not ready for it.
Yeah.
But I think it falls that it was different and a lot different than what I was listening to, even though, I mean, they fall in that genre. They were definitely not that genre, like per se, like they were just different. I think better musicians.
Yeah,
and
it
showed, like they were leaps and bounds better than everybody else. And they just were fucking.
No, and that's the thing, man. It honestly, I'm not even exaggerating about this. It sort of bothers me personally that I just don't vibe on them, because like everything about them is amazing. Like they're great musicians. Like the recordings are really good, even for back then. And it's like the songs are so unique and original. And I think it's just there's just never anything that it's just too much all the time with them. too many changes and like there's just too much going on. It's like that there's never anything that like stops long enough and stays long enough for me to be like to groove on something. And I think that's just why. And the songs I do like are actually, I'm pretty sure about this, but I think there's some like old Santa Cruz videos that they have songs in, or it might be some of the old like Savannah Slamma videos or something where there's some Minutemen songs. And that would have been the first time I heard them. And I really liked the songs that were in those skate videos, but they were like standalone songs and they like kind of fit with maybe the person who was skating or whatever.
Right.
So it was sort of like a visual connection for me for those songs. But when I tried to just go straight audio only, listening to the music, just, I don't know, it just never clicked for me.
Fucking sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
So this is a good one. I'm glad you're not looking at the list. Ready?
Yeah.
The Ramones. So we've already said we weren't in a Ramones camp. So
Yeah, no.
there's nothing that's going to upset me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Animal Boy, and that's like the 8th album. So I don't know if I'm on board with you there. I know I didn't like Brain Drain or Mondo Bizarro. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe.
Wait. I'm so sorry. The list that you're looking at, is this the list where he said bands who got better later?
No,
or bands that were better at the beginning.
It just they had a good 4 or 5 run album and then just started putting shit out.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, cool.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Celtic Frost.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree that like the early stuff is the best. Like once they hit, I mean, honestly,
way too metal for me there, Justin. You're killing me.
But no, I agree with that. I know Gene's like a big fan of the like middle to like middle 80s, late 80s vibe of them, but I don't know. I never really fucked with that. It's pretty much like Morbid Tales is like my shit. Like if it's not Morbid Tales, I mean, they have other shit I'm into, but Morbid Tales is always my go-to, like
right.
Into the Crypts of Rays and just like all that shit. Like that's the shit I want.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Exodus.
That one I don't necessarily agree with. I like all eras of Exodus.
Megadeth. Here, let me help you. They fucking blow. From the word go, they blow. Justin, they blow. They didn't have one good record, so I don't have to worry about 4 of them. Yeah,
no, I agree with him on that. I think that they were good up into like those early 90s records, and then when they started to try to go like this weird alternative progressive route that they were trying to keep up with grunge in their own weird metal way. And yeah, it went to fucking garbage at that point. But no way, dude, you're wrong. The first 3 Megadeth records are like, you're fucking wrong on that.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you're totally wrong.
Am I?
Yeah,
I doubt that. I fucking doubt that.
You're wrong. Those records are amazing.
Slayer. So I think they had a better run than 5. I think maybe the last 1 or 2 wasn't very awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think all of them up to, what was the one where they kind of went new metal? Like that.
Diabolos and Musica.
Yeah. That one. Yeah. Whatever.
That's when they started playing 7-string guitars and shit.
So that was it. But I think they had a like 7 or 8 run. Like that's all awesome. So they overdid your limitations, sucker.
Yeah.
So be nice.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they pretty much everything was a banger up into and including Divine Intervention. And then that's when they kind of started getting into like the new metal phase. And I didn't really like that shit as much. And then I think the last good record they did was World Painted Blood. I think that was I forget which one that was, but that one I think had the most like old school Slayer vibe of their modern records. Like that one I felt like could have fit in like right in like Seasons in the Abyss zone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they had 7. I like God Hates Us All. Christ Illusion was good. Yeah. So Repentless it didn't sound any different from anything else. So if you're a hardcore Slayer, you probably liked it. It wasn't different enough for me at that point. They were knocking out the same shit, which falls into that category, but I was the last one. So they had an okay run.
Fun fact, A God Hates Us All came out on September 11th, 2001.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that record came out on the New York attack day.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Bad timing there.
Yeah, horrible timing.
Okay.
Or good timing for them, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, so what's next?
Suicidal.
Yeah, I think we covered that earlier. I think that I liked them up until like Lights Camera Revolution. I think I was out after that.
Yeah, and blah. I'm with you. COC, didn't listen to them enough. Like, I'm not into the stoner rock thing, so
yeah,
I think they've got a second life as a stoner rock band. I think everybody grooves on them now again, but
yeah, no, I love a lot of stoner rock music, and I don't like stoner rock COC at all. Like I am technocracy, animosity era, or like get the fuck out.
All right.
Wait, I think Animosity, that's one of the records, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
I believe so. I'm trying to think what the cover is for Animosity.
Is that the one with the barrels?
Yeah, I think that's it. And then the other one's kind of
Technocracy has like the face or something. It's like a painting of a face or some shit.
Yeah, I don't fuck. I was thinking almost closer to like Calls for Alarm type cover, but fuck, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so to say that,
yeah,
then comes Agnostic Front.
I tend to agree with that. I feel like Agnostic Front for me is kind of like how you describe Slayer for yourself. It's like the first, like up until One Voice is like pretty flawless. And then I even like the first record they did when they went when they're hanging out too much with like Rancid and shit. But it's like the 1995 record. It's like a black and red cover. It's got the Gotta Go song on it.
Yeah, that song's awesome.
Yeah, I like that record a lot. And then the next couple after that were okay, but I didn't really like so much. And then most of the modern Agnostic Front, though, I don't like. Like, I think it's like weird unoriginal One Voice hybrids or something. I don't know. I don't like them as much.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. It's a hybrid. Yeah, that I don't know if I'm into. It's like a punk. To me, it's like it's Agnostic Front, but a punkier version. And I don't know.
It's like stripped down One Voice, but not in a good way.
Okay. I think I might have covered everything. I think a few bands that have sophomore releases I like more than their debuts. First to come to mind is an awesome one is Nirvana.
I agree with that. I agree with that one.
Bleach is fucking awesome. I don't know about that. And this one is total horseshit. Ready? He said, "Rest in pieces. My Rage versus Under My Skin," which I was so I'm gonna go at you with this one. Is like my first experience with Rest in Pieces was on that live album, the Hawker record. And they did those fucking 3 songs, and it was so phenomenal. Like, it was just like there was a vibe and like an anger. And then I listened to fucking Under My Skin. I was like, "Fuck you!"
Whatever.
If I would have bought that one, that would have been out the fucking window too, because that was horse shit.
5 Golden Rings. Come on, bro.
Fuck off.
That song's sick.
No. Fucking compared to Under My Skin? No. Or no. Wait, I got them backwards. My Rage.
Yeah.
But here, this falls back into that category of I heard of that and found that record And I think we got a hold of the Under My Skin before like My Rage ever showed up, where somebody had a copy of it, or that you could either make a dub of, or you could buy it. Like it was weird. Like it like showed up after the fact.
Well, here's ammo for your hatred for Under My Skin. Is I knew about Rest in Pieces because of that comp you were talking about or whatever, but I had never heard them. And then I actually got Under My Skin from a cutout bin at Camelot one day. I was like, oh, sick. This is that band from New York or whatever. And I bought it. And I remember thinking like, wait, I thought they were like a hardcore band. This sounds like metal. But then I ended up like kind of like digging that record a lot though. But it's like, I know that's not really like their initial sound.
Loser.
5 golden rings.
Oh, God. It's so goddamn horrible. And then Tadios gave us 2. Quicksand's the opposite. Wow, wait for nowhere near the magical slip.
Yeah, no, he was saying that the early Quicksand stuff is perfect, but then it like all their later shit was just like whatever.
It was horrible. Yeah, they got 2. I don't like Manic Compression was, I don't know. It wasn't a ripper for me. Like,
yeah,
I was
Slip is just like the 7-inch and Slip are just, those are like 2 of the best post-hardcore records ever made, in my opinion.
And I love Turnstile. He brought them up. I like them because they're fucking off and they do dumb shit in their music. Like they have like, I don't know. I enjoy the fact that it's not too serious and they have like little dance vibes and shit in the music. Don't know why, but I dig them.
Crazy that you brought them up because I just found out by watching a video of them that my friend Greg plays guitar for them now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I didn't even know he was playing with those guys. When I was watching those Hellfest videos a couple days ago, there's some other big festival that's going on over in Europe around the same time. It's Pink Pop or something like that. I don't know where it is or anything, but I might even have the name wrong. But anyway, there's some festival and like related video came up, Turnstile at Pink Pop or whatever it's called. And I watched it and I was like, they kept doing like zoom ins on the members in the band and stuff. I was like, man, that guitar player, like, why does that dude look familiar? And then I kept looking and then they finally did a close. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, that's my friend Greg. And like, I had no idea that he was playing with those guys. So I was like, I got on Wikipedia and I looked up Turnstile and I was seeing if like he was added as a member or something. And he's on there as like, he's a touring 2022 touring guitar player for them. So yeah, that's crazy. So he's from the band called Take Offense. I talked about them once or twice before on the podcast, but they're a fucking awesome band from San Diego, hardcore band to check out if you've never heard them. But they're like a touring machine, dude. Those guys have been touring relentlessly for like the last decade pretty much, and they're still pretty young. They started out when they were probably like 14, and
crazy.
They're like maybe like 30ish now, late 20s, 30 or something like that. But yeah, well, I met Greg when he was like probably like 13 or 14.
Fuck.
And he's become like an amazing guitar player. So it was crazy. It's like this moment of, because like how often do you watch like a huge band playing at a festival and you're like, oh, I fucking know that guy, it's like that.
Yeah,
probably doesn't happen very often. So I was definitely like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, and he and I have had like many talks over the years of just like, I don't know, like whatever. I've always tried to kind of give him pep talks and stuff where like, just like being like, dude, I'm like so proud of you guys that you're like living the dream, like you guys, like you got lucky enough to be in a band with people who, like had the same drive and ambition that you did. And like, you guys have worked really hard and like, now it's paying off. You're like touring Europe all the time and touring the country and playing with like big bands and shit. You know, they play like that Black and Blue festival all the time in New York. And
yeah,
like they play like big shit. So like to see him get an opportunity like that, I'm just like, man, that's like definitely
awesome.
was like a heartwarming moment. I was like, that's fucking badass, dude. Like he's playing in like front of like 40,000 people at that show probably or something.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures from it. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So yeah, that was cool.
They must have popped up on my Insta or something.
Yeah, and I don't really know too much about that band, honestly. Like I first learned about them through you, actually. So you mentioned them one time like a year or so ago, and I was like, never even heard of this band. And they've been around since like 2010 or something.
And it was bizarre because I just found them on Apple Music, like it was a new release. Yeah. And the cover was just to the point where it's what I thought it was going to be. What I thought the music was going to be was different than what did he say? What I got. I didn't think it was going to be an actual like hardcore band. Like I thought it was going to be something different. And I was like, fuck yes. I was stoked because it's hard to find new bands, at least for me.
They're definitely very unique sounding. Like I love how they have a 2.5 minute song and maybe 40 seconds of that song is split up into 15-second sections of sounding like a traditional hardcore band. But then the other minute and a half or whatever is just like this weird shit that like, it's almost like they're like a rock band that could be like really, really huge, but they still keep these hardcore elements.
Right.
And it just gives them like a really unique sound. I do kind of dig them. I like his voice a lot too.
I do too. Okay. Well, now that we went another, 20 minutes past the pee break, we were jumping into topic. Now it's time to bust your topic out. Okay. Well, let it loose.
Yeah. My original topic, I'm actually going to skip because I think we need like way more time for it, but I'm going to go to my backup topic.
Oh, fuck.
So
you have more than one. Is scary.
Well, I've just over the last few weeks, I've just been trying to like kind of think of ideas just to, I don't know, just try to think of ideas. So, and whatever, I don't think this is something we have to delve into super deep or anything, but I was just kind of curious, like if you had any thoughts on if, we were both raised by our grandparents. So like what if any influence do you think like growing up with your grandparents and not with your parents, what effect did that have on your music trajectory in any way, if it did?
Oh,
like as far as like, did you associate more with sort of like the outlier mentality of punk rock because of being sort of like a child growing up with your grandparents thing?
So that maybe, I guess, yeah, I always kind of equated it more that since I grew up with my aunts and uncles, like I started listening to music like steady a lot earlier than some people.
Yeah.
And was like kind of not obsessive about it, but listened to it a lot. Like I was definitely deep into it as a kid in elementary school and shit. So by the time I hit to the point where I could make my own decisions, I think I was tired of, for lack of a better term, like commercial music. Like I was ready to hear, I'm ready to be something to expand, to kind of push forward. But yeah, I guess, I guess you do feel like an outlier or not an outlier, but what is the right word? An outcast because you grew up with your grandparents? Yeah, I guess. That's kind of weird though. I never thought about it. Like my mom and I talk about it. It's weird because she has a lot of regrets. And I'm like, dude, you hooked us up, put us in the best place possible. And we did what we had to do. So I was like, don't ever fucking fret that because it doesn't, we're here.
Yeah, I think. And how old were you when you went to your grandparents' house?
I think I was 5 or 6 and my sister was young.
Yeah. So like
probably 2.
I was going to say, 3. So your sister and I was like very similar then, because I was 3 when I went to live with my grandparents. So we're like all in that same ballpark then.
Yeah. You know what I found? When I drank a lot, that I liked hanging out with older people. That was like I could sit at a bar and fucking ham it up with all the fucking old guys, like that little club I belong to. I'd much rather fucking hang out with the old dudes that were in the club than anybody that was my age.
Yeah.
Like it was
100%. And this is sort of like a side trajectory based on that, but I really believe that a big part of where the empathetic side of my personality does come from like being around so many old people growing up and like understanding like this, there being such a like age disparity between us that I don't know, just sort of maybe being taught like more like traditional old school values. And then also just being around so many old people, just, I don't know, being exposed to like people with aches and pains and illnesses maybe at an earlier age sort of like set you up to like have a more empathetic view of the world possibly.
Somebody to tell you that you should stop doing that because you're going to regret it when you're old.
Oh yeah. Well, that, I mean, with skateboarding, that's all I ever heard.
Oh my God.
Is like, you shouldn't do that because you're going to get hurt. And like, when you're old, you're not going to be able to move and like all that kind of stuff.
My fucking knees ache nonstop. Like, hell, fuck yeah. They're fucking pain. But yeah, well, that's funny.
Well, so that's interesting. So kind of what you're saying then is because of your, and you know, that I never really thought about it in this context before, but that could be a real possibility of why I sort of wanted to get into more offshoots at a younger age. It's like the overexposure from older people to like mainstream stuff. You're almost like over it by the time you're 10.
Yes. I like, even when I moved to Baltimore, I had this talk with this guy that I was friends with, because he just could not grasp the fact that I didn't listen to any like contemporary music that he listened to.
Yeah.
That I was just so far off the beaten path. But once we hit a point in time, then I knew like everything he did. Like it was like there was like a cutoff point where I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm done with this. And where he kept going, it's like now I'm done. So like we could go talk old shit, but like older rock, but nothing like contemporary. Yeah. And I always equated it was like I grew up with that. Like I grew up with the Bee Gees and fucking dumb shit like that, and Jim Croce. And like I grew up with that, and I was ready to move on. I didn't want like the next generation of that. I was done with that.
Yeah.
I was ready to move on.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, with all that being said, I mean, was there an element of, I mean, because, you know, like I know your grandparents really well and stuff, and they're like sweet people and everything. So it's like, I feel like it's like similar for me. Like I guess there was a part of me that associated with the loner aspect of punk rock music, but kind of because I was a loner as a little kid. Like when I lived with my grandparents, my mom's parents during the week for school and stuff, like there was like no one near my house. Like I didn't really, the only time I got to play with anybody my own age is when I would, you know, go to the farm on the weekends. Right. That was mostly with my cousins and stuff. And, you know, my next closest cousin's like 4 years younger than me. So, and it was a girl. So, you know, we were pretty close as kids, but
shared dresses.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we didn't really, I mean, we played together and stuff, but like, I wouldn't say I don't know, like whatever, but like, I didn't like have any like guy friends that I played with as a kid. And I think and we can get into this in another episode too, when we get into our toy episode, but that's why toys have like always been very instrumental throughout my life. Is like toys for me were like a big part of how I entertained myself and like connected with something, because I didn't really have playmates as a kid. So my toys were like my way of really harnessing my imagination. And I think that really carried over into when I got into music and stuff. But the whole point of that is, I don't think really even though like maybe our parents had like fucked up scenarios or whatever. Like I never really completely associated with the, I guess, like being sort of like an asshole kid aspect of being like a punk rock person. Like I was like, I never like sort of bought into that side of it. Like I guess I understood it and understood where like being a skateboarder, you kind of got made fun of and stuff like that. But I never came at punk rock from an angle of like, my childhood is so bad, I need this music as rebellion. It's like I love the aggressiveness of the music, but I never really latched on to like the rebellion side of it, if that makes sense.
No, I'm in the same boat. Like I don't get it. I wasn't part. I remember when we were 710 split.
Yeah.
Prior to Perestroika, we played a show in a record store, and some kids like, you play the music, but you don't live the lifestyle. And like, right. and Blake told me, I was like, well, fuck, I want to live in a house. I was like, I don't want to squat. Like, I'm okay with being in an apartment. I'm okay with working for what I have and not fucking trying to bum my way through life. So it's definitely, I think what I grasped or what I loved about that music was the independence and kind of breaking the mold, going out, and maybe the rebellious aspects of the music, but not so much. I don't want to go break shit and burn shit down. That's not me. I'm weird. I have like so much respect for fucking personal property and people's personal property. Like I'm having a hard time like even getting it out because I don't understand like damaging other people's shit. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, that's always been like a weird thing for me with skateboarding, is like a weird dance of like riding that line of, I want to skate a certain spot, but like, I guess the best way to really describe it is I've always been like a pretty like polite skateboarder. Like I'll like maybe grind and skate shit like you're not supposed to, but like I'll stop if I notice it's like, if it's a spot that's never been skated before that I find, and like I'm grinding it a little bit or sliding it or whatever, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fucking it up. Like I might stop. Whereas like maybe someone who doesn't give a fuck will like wax it up super gnarly and just like skate the fuck out of it. Like I've kind of always been more like aware of, I want to skate things that shouldn't be skated, but I also want to respect it simultaneously.
Yes, I completely agree. I used to skate the church below Kate's all the time, but they were always super nice to me. So I never really I think the pastor or whatever lived right past it. So it was like my little place to skate, just to like, if I was waiting for some reason, if she wasn't home, like I'd go there and skate.
Is that, like, are you talking about, where is that? Like at the end of Match Street?
Yeah, at the end of Match Street. It was just curbs. There was nothing else there. So you just skate the curbs and grind. And
gotcha. Well, I think like the rebellious, for me, what I latched onto when I really got like deep into punk and hardcore was I've never really been like a person who like really read lyrics a whole lot, but if a band was singing about something that I could understand what they were saying without reading the lyrics, I think I really latched on, like Dead Kennedys are one of my favorite bands. And I think I latched onto them because not so much that I was like a rebellious teen or anything, but I like that bands like that opened my mind up to different ways of thinking that I probably wouldn't have otherwise have had. So I think my rebellious side of punk rock is rooted more in, it shaped my mind into getting me on a better path of thinking than necessarily like breaking shit.
Right. No, I completely, like, I think I made that reference to like 7 seconds where it was like, you know, fucking positive. And that's who I wanted to be. And like, I wanted to be the guy, I wanted to be the outsider that could. Is that, you know, but it's funny is DK, I guess I must have borrowed the record from somebody, and I went to my uncle Toots's.
Yep.
And at his house, I guess I left the album out, and he got up and read the fucking lyrics one morning.
No.
Oh my! I got a total fucking blast of shit. He's like, do you believe this stuff? I was like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And he's going on. I was like, it means nothing to me. Like, it was like their words. And it was, I don't know. I could always, I guess, cut off and understand that lyrics are fucking lyrics sometimes and they're there to fill a void.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they were I don't know how like musically I fucking loved them. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I would definitely say that if someone was like, name the one band that really shaped your mind as a teenager going into adulthood, like lyrically. And like I said, I'm not a person that really reads or follows along with lyrics too often. Like, I just love the music. But Dead Kennedys is the band that I think lyrically just they really did it for me. I loved reading their lyrics and following along. I think just it was so different than anything I'd ever heard. And the vocal delivery was so unique. And I just loved the cutting sarcasm and just there was nothing like that. Like, nothing else sounded like that. And there was no other lyrics that were quite like that. And I loved all the sort of like how, like, I don't know, just the way he would frame talking about something that maybe he didn't come right out and say it, but you knew what he meant. And it really did make you think about, like, just being in a mindset of thinking about things in a different way. That's the band that made me think about everything in a different way, religion and everything.
So that I 1,000% agree, because I think it opens your mind up to, like, maybe the government isn't what it's supposed to be, and like things aren't always the way they're sold to you. I think is really like it taught. I think a lot about propaganda. But I think also, like, it's so crazy, like, to think about how many people, I guess, followed or befriended Joe Biafra because of the shit that he went through for the Geiger, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
The penis landscape.
Yeah.
Because, like, he did so much for promoting, what do you want to say, the music, but, you know, being, I guess, honest with the lyrics and kind of fighting the PMRC and shit like that. He's like, you know, you need to fucking think outside the box type stuff. And it was always cool to see, like, Chuck D and people like that thank him in the fucking liner notes.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody else like him. And then all of a sudden in the fucking liner notes, in Joe Biafra, because he went to bat for everybody.
No, yeah, he definitely did. I mean, honestly, I think it's been like an advantage in my life. Absolutely. But I definitely owe a lot of, and it's maybe sounds kind of cheesy, but it is really true. A lot of the person I've become is because of Dead Kennedys. Like, it sounds silly to even say that out loud, but really that band shaped, just without them, I never would have had a question everything mentality, which I think is a really good quality to have. And not enough people have that. Like, maybe you see something and you're like, that's terrible. And then you think about it more and you're like, maybe it's not that terrible. But even just having that thought experiment with everything you encounter in your life is something everyone needs a little more of, I think.
So I think that in itself is what pushed his buttons about the record. Was like, because it must have been Fresh Fruit, because I don't think it was Bedtime for Democracy.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been any of them, honestly. Right.
But, like, I think Fresh Fruit was like, it was a little bit, I think the older they got, the less sneakier he got with the lyrics sometimes.
Yeah.
Or the more evident his attack on something was.
Yeah. Bedtime for Democracy was like a full blown, just like fuck off to everybody. I'm just gonna ruin you with my lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think, like Fresh Fruit, like it was a little bit sneakier.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he doesn't really want to kill the poor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, that's funny when you said Toots was looking at it, it's like, oh, well, kill the poor. He's like,
yeah,
what the fuck is this?
What was it? I Kill Children, I think. Is that, yeah, that's on there. So yeah, it was a whole bombshell of somebody who was 70 years my senior. 60.
Yeah, drug me.
Yeah. So like in the nuance was missed on him because he was 50 years in the military. You know, that whole aspect was like, nope. Yeah. And that's the first thing is, you leave this shit. And it's like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, that was a total moment of the future is fucked moment for him. That was his video games now thing for like parents, like, or like how video games are gonna ruin kids. It's like that was his this is what's gonna ruin kids.
So I laugh because fucking those lyrics are so on point, even now, and the way things are going. Oh, like his lyrics, like it is creepy how
always.
Yes,
always.
Like something will happen, and I can think of a DK song that's already covered this, and it's like, watch out! It's like, fuck, this is coming, and it shows up.
Oh well, dude, like his new band, the Guantanamo School of Medicine that he does, which is basically like modern Dead Kennedys is what it is. It's like that band is fucking awesome. I love them. Like Dead Kennedys without him, like good luck making a record as good as those fucking records, because it's like not happening. But anyway, that last one they just put out like a year ago, it's called Tea Party Revenge Porn. And that record is fucking awesome. And like literally, dude, like every fucking song on that album is like he like got in a time machine and came into this year, got all his lyrical content and went back to 2017, wrote the songs, recorded them, and put them out like 3 years before. Like it's like there's a song about Putin on that record. Like it's like insane, dude. Like he's always ahead of the curve on all that shit.
It is. It's fucking scary because I'm trying to think. It must have been shit off of Bedtime for Democracy that like something will happen. I'll be like, he's a fucking prophet.
Yeah. No, all his lyrics super prophetic. They've always been, even like spoken word shit. It's fucking scary. Some of the shit he said like a decade before it's like actually happened. It's pretty wild.
But I think on the cross side of that though is I think 7 seconds was the positive aspect, where if that kind of lined you up and kind of woke you up, like 7 seconds to me was more like the drive to get you there or to keep pushing you to keep going.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like up until the hippie shit. I mean, and Soul Force Revolution was fine, I guess. Yeah, it was fine. But Ourselves, I mean, okay, after New Wind, they started going the other way. But the shit that happened before that, you know, was, I think, super influential.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Even during my straight edge phase, like they were still key, and they were key prior to it, and they were key after it, and I still fucking listen to them now. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like there's some sort of love for them.
Well, that's something I'd actually thought about bringing up for a separate episode, but I mean, since we're already in it, like, and we can go into more detail later if it requires it, but did anything of your upbringing play into you like going like the straight edge road? Like I honestly don't even know how that even started for you. I don't think I've ever asked you about this.
I don't think I can you know what? I don't know if it was on a whim. I almost think it was on a whim. It was like the Turners and I were out drinking and something clicked. Like, I guess we were listening to something and it clicked. And I'm like, I could do that. Like, I could be me. And I fucking did. I just did it. I mean, when I stopped drinking, whatever, 7 years ago, it was cold turkey. Like, there was no transition period. It was like, okay, I'm busted. What the fuck do I do? I was like, I'm done. I was like, I want my kids, and I don't want to fuck anything up with not about keeping my kids.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm going to go. And I mean, it's weird, but I don't know. It's bizarre. Like, I want to say that I wanted to not be an alcoholic like my dad, but I don't know if that's true, because I obsess about alcohol. Like, I fucking love alcohol. Like, I like all the fucking propaganda they produce, any kind of graphics, like all that.
You're like, I love alcohol culture so much.
I do. Like, I was like, I fucking, yeah,
That's
I had
horrible.
that ridiculous, a ridiculous beer collection. I made fucking moonshine whiskey. Like, and that shit was fucking fun.
Oh, I remember I had your moonshine. That shit like was pretty gnarly. It was good though.
It was good. And we got fucking hammered and couldn't walk up the goddamn hill to get into the house.
Yeah, no shit.
And like I had to go to classes and shit. And I was like, I fucking love it. Like, everybody else was kind of defensive. I don't think I'm a very good liar and a withholder of information.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to tell you, and it is what it is. And you're either going to like it or not, but I mean, it just comes all out. Like, that filter doesn't exist. And so everybody else is like, oh, I don't like to drink. It was just, a mistake. And I'm like, I love beer. I love everything. I was like, don't get me wrong. I was like, I know what I did, but fuck it, dude. I love it. Yeah. And it was like, it's so bizarre that that the whole straight edge thing, it worked for me. I think that's probably half the reason that I fucking did the aversion thing, and like, it helped, and probably why I don't like it now, because I feel I sold myself out. But I mean, I don't think I could outrun the liquor dragon. Like, it was going to happen. Yeah. Whether or not, there was no way that I wasn't not going to get snagged by it. So
was there an element of, so once you had made this decision in the car that night that you weren't going to drink, were you like 14 or 15 or something like that?
Yeah, I was fucking young. Yeah.
So like, was forming the band part of, was there maybe like sort of like, maybe even if it was like subconsciously, was there a part of creating that band that was like an accountability factor for you, that like, if I have this band, I know that like that'll keep me from slipping back because I'm like putting it out into like a public forum?
That is a great question, but I don't think because we didn't start doing that. Fuck, we did Murphy's Law songs and shit.
Yeah, I got you.
It definitely, no.
So you were like already going to start a band anyway. It was just convenient that you were like doing the straight edge
and
thing,
then and it just seemed to all click, and everybody was cool with it, and that's what we did.
Okay.
But
more of like a natural, it was just like everyone was in that same kind of realm, so it's like it just happened naturally.
It happened naturally. So I mean, and maybe I feel like I sold myself out, or was I just lying to everybody? That would be that. Like, I listened to it, and I don't know. It's weird to listen to. Like, lyrically,
when you say sold yourself out, like you were singing about something you knew deep down inside you didn't really truly believe,
or did I ever think I'd really outrun it? I guess,
Yeah.
It was like, it's going to catch you. Sorry, it happens. Yeah. We all have our things.
And that was like what, like a 4-year run?
I started drinking the day before my 21st, or the week before my 21st birthday, I think.
Oh, well, then it was way longer then.
Oh yeah, it went for what, like 6 years, 6, something like that. Yeah, I mean, not way longer, but it was, and I mean, it was an important part. And
yeah, so you weren't drinking in Lawn Dart.
Yeah, no, fuck, I probably would have stayed.
Yeah. Honestly, like Lawn Dart probably would have been a way different band if you were drinking in it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, it was like I didn't start drinking until I almost was getting ready to move to Baltimore.
Wow, like honestly, that's like a really interesting like hypothetical experiment, like trial to
Oh,
run, is
oh
like
my
how
God.
differently would have things turned out if you were drinking in Lawn Dart? Because I think things would have turned out way differently for everybody. That's like one of those, like, if you go back in time and you change one small thing, it like
The
screws
butterfly
everything else
effect.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have. Who knows? Yeah, it's weird.
Because everyone else, well, Gabe didn't really drink that. I
No,
mean, he
he
did,
never
but
did, but it
but
was nothing
everyone else
crazy.
was.
Yeah, it just I don't know, and I was cool with it. Why the fuck I decided, I don't know.
Yeah.
To,
So like basically that hadn't, like, you doing the straight edge thing had nothing, there was like no influence of like family really. I mean, other than your dad was a heavy drinker, but that wasn't even like a rebelling against, I don't want to be like my dad at all.
no, 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 not it's great. That's
If
crazy.
anything, it
No.
was the opposite of that. You were, I know it's probably going to eventually get me, so like why fight it kind of thing.
Well, I think I mean I don't, like I said, it's always been a love. So I think it was a fight. It's not a fight anymore. I don't know. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, with you saying all this, it's like, are you like of the mindset that like when the kids are all sort of like grown up and responsible, like, would you start drinking, or are you like
So
past the point?
initially I said that, like, I was like, I'm done for at least 7 years or whatever it
Yeah.
takes to get the kids all gone. Not gone, but
Yeah, I know what you
get
mean.
them of age. And, I've done my
Yeah.
job as a parent. I provided for them. But now I don't, it I'm choosing my words because I
Yeah.
don't, to me, it is a deep, deep rabbit hole that runs in my family. And I know that I can't. And like my dad knew once he stopped, he knew, because we talked about it. Like when that bubble pops, it's it's gangbusters. It's not like a,
well,
it's not like
that's
a trickle in. It is like fucking, you go from 0 to 100. It's not.
Because you're gonna be like, oh, I pulled the band-aid off. Now I'm like gonna fucking go ape shit for like 3 months till I feel like I get caught up.
Yeah. So I like, I don't know. I like,
plus you're, I mean, we're getting at that age where it's like drinking a bunch just isn't even, I mean, it's never good for your health at any age, but it's like, late 40s approaching 50. It's like, it's time to start like not doing that shit as much.
And let me tell you, you don't lose weight when you stop drinking. And that was like, I'm going to lose all this weight. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. But I'm just like, I think maybe that's what, I don't know. Aversion just, I guess it bothers me because it was such, I guess, for lack of a better term, a lie.
I don't think it was a lie, though.
I know I said lack of better term.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a phase of my life, but I guess I was out in front of something I wasn't going to outrun.
Yeah, but you wholeheartedly believed it, though.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean, you were, if anything, I think that makes the band even like more important, that it did stand for a time in your life that you like kept it together. It's like that was your musical expression of like keeping that shit out of your life when you knew it was probably going to be really hard to keep it out of your life. And I think there's maybe like a testament to that aspect of the band, that it did stand as like a marker of a time when you like kept shit together.
Yeah, I mean, and it probably kept me out of a lot of trouble.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
It kept me away from things I didn't need to be a part of. So yeah, it definitely, I think it was the right decision at the time, but it's still kind of cringy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see. I mean, there's lots of shit I think about that I've been involved with and done that's cringy to me, but other people don't think it's cringy. So
I know.
I get what you're saying, but the personal experience is hard to shake when people are like giving you accolades about something all the time. But if you have like a way you feel about something that other people don't have that perspective, it's like you're never going to make them see your side because they're just like, this is what it meant to me. Like,
yeah, it exactly. Like it meant different things to different people. And I don't know, to me, I don't know. I've never really thought it just cringes me all the time.
Yeah.
Even listening to them, like I said, trying to clean up the tapes, it drives me nuts.
Well, so I guess like back to the family thing though, I don't know. I just feel like it sounds like for both of us that the sort of, this isn't even like the correct term, because I would say if anything, we had it probably, that's the one thing that I grew to realize as I got older is that, when you're young, maybe you had this same thing too, but it's like, there's always that like desire that you like wish your parents stayed together. Cause like you have friends who their parents are like really cool or like whatever.
Yes.
So there's maybe that, there's maybe that desire.
Absolutely. Yes.
As you get older, for me, I realized that like that was the best thing that ever happened was getting taken away from my parents. And like my life was so much better by being raised by my both sets of grandparents than it ever would have been being raised by my parents staying together or them separately.
I told my mom the same thing. I like literally had to talk with her. I was like, you did what you had to do. We ended up in the best fucking place possible for us. Like I fucking far rather had the stability of being in a home with a structure around me versus fucking willy-nilly whatever mom or dad wanted to do,
being around fights all the time, or
that.
Just like whatever. So yeah, I guess because I've thought about this a number of times over the years, like, is there any like trauma, quote unquote, for my childhood that maybe made me sort of associate with the type of music we're into more? And like, honestly, I think I was going to like this music no matter what. Cause I like the music. It's like really the message of it. Like like we said earlier, the whole rebellious teen thing shit, like that never clicked for me at all. It was just like, I like this music no matter what.
So at one point, I think the words for senseless violence were more about broken homes.
Okay.
Because everybody in the band came from a broken home at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't think at any point, well, Ryan didn't, but he wasn't in the band when it was written either. But like everybody's parents were divorced. So like, but I kind of think that Matt, I think it was you that kind of like almost gave me shit about it. And it was like, okay, I'll fucking change the lyrics. I don't care. Like somebody kind of like poked back and I was like, okay. I mean, I think it's an aspect that's not talked a lot about with the music is the broken home scenario. I mean, and it's now it's, I guess it's more prevalent than it was before. And it's just, it's fuck. I mean, now like think of like people who listen to the music, their parents together, were they not? I mean, and actually most of the ones I can think of besides you and me, and like, of course, that lineup of a version, like Gene's parents were together, Mike Smith's parents were together, Dustin's parents were together.
Yeah.
Like Tony's dad passed away, so that doesn't count. It was like,
yeah. So, I mean, I think for some people there can be that, like you attach to that because of the rebellious attitude, but it sounds like for a lot of people we know, it's like, it really is about the music more than the like that aspect of it, like the rebelling aspect. Yeah. That wasn't the draw initially.
Nah, to me, I don't think it was. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, my sister and I watched this movie. We had a rotation of movies we watched after school. And somebody used to record movies off of HBO for us.
Okay.
So we had just cassettes of like Police Academy, Terminator.
That's cool.
Revenge of the Nerds was definitely one. And we had Strange Brew.
Nice.
And this fucking movie called Surf 2, which the Circle Jerks were in the soundtrack. I think Split Ends was in the soundtrack. Oingo Boingo was in the soundtrack. Yeah, good luck. See if you find that.
Yeah, I'm making a note of that. I want to check that out.
I think like Eddie Deasner's in it. And like the dude, like I think Juan from Welcome Back Kotter might be in it. Like, but it's definitely a trashy B movie. But it was like about zombie surf punks or something. And they were drinking
awesome.
Buzz
Which
Cola.
would have been a way cooler title for the movie.
Oh my God. And I can sing the Buzz Cola theme song, but I'm not going to.
Oh.
And it's a fucking commercial it's a fucking fake commercial in a movie. Oh my God.
It's
awesome. So
awesome.
bad. Ruth Buzzy was in it too. There you go. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. That actually sounds pretty cool.
Oh my God.
Well, it's funny too. I think that I think another very similar aspect of our upbringing is that I think by the time we like got introduced to the like scenarios of living with our grandparents, all like your aunt and uncles and my aunt and uncles had already been like, our grandparents have already seen everything that a fucking teenage kid can throw at them. So it's like no records I ever brought home or like skateboarding, like shit I hung on my walls. Like my grandparents never said shit to me about anything. It's like pretty much like I could do and listen to whatever I wanted because it's like they had already seen it all to a certain extent. So I'm assuming it was pretty similar for you.
It was really similar. I'm trying to think. There are a couple things. I think the fetus was a bad record for my grandmother.
Yeah.
I think I remember getting that shit in the mail from Toxic Shock. She was not happy.
Well, so my grandmother, do you remember when CDs first came out and they were in like the tall boxes, like the rectangular boxes? Well, that was probably 89, 90, I'm guessing. Yeah. Well, anyway, there were, I don't know if it was still like the tail end of sort of like the Tipper Gore shit or whatever, but they were still like labeling stuff at the mall. So there was some shit you couldn't buy if you were under 18. I don't know if you ever had that issue or not.
I didn't, but I'm laughing.
One of the coolest stories ever makes my grandmother such a legend is we were at the mall one night and I had some money to get some CDs and I was going to buy Seasons in the Abyss and Danzig 2, and they both had stickers on them. I couldn't get them because I was under 18. So at the time, my grandmother was probably 60, close to 60 at the time. So my fucking grandmother went up to the counter and bought Seasons in the Abyss and Danzig 2 for me, which is fucking, I still think about that from time to time. Like that's where I was at. Like that was my family.
Is when I had pneumonia twice. And the one time I was so fucking bored and listened to everything I had. My grandmother would get me a tape like every week or every couple days because I was just going fucking nuts because I couldn't go to school.
Okay.
And she bought me a couple crazy ones, but my favorite was she bought me We're the Meat Men and You Still Suck. Nice. I was like, it's just awesome to think of my grandmother rolling up to the fucking counter with that tape going, yeah, I need to get this.
Dude, like honestly, knowing your grandmother as well as I do, I literally can like probably imagine that scenario because she probably made it a point to talk to the person to make sure they knew that it was like for you and not for her.
Yes, absolutely. Oh shit.
And her like total like sarcastic tone, like just like rolling her eyes and turning her head like, I don't know why he listens to this.
Exactly. I could just see like one of those burnout dudes because everybody had shag hair at Waxy Maxie's looking at her as she's buying it. It'd be fucking great.
Shit, Trisha might have sold it to her.
Oh, she was at Camelot.
No, she was at Waxy Maxie's.
Was she at Waxy Maxie's?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she worked at Waxy Maxie's.
That's awesome.
Yeah, little history for you there too. Well, and never mind the fact that like we haven't even touched on this yet, but like your parents not staying together and you getting to like live with Cool Jim, upgrade.
Oh my god. No,
Like,
no.
Major upgrade.
Fuck no. He was such a dickhead.
Was he?
Oh my, that's why we called him Cool Jim. Because he acted like such an asshole every time somebody showed up. Like he was a dick. Like
no, I'm not. See, I'm ignoring you right now because
dude,
this is not true. You're not going to sway my opinion of Cool Jim ever.
Fuck. Dude, he was such an asshole to everybody. Like it did not fucking matter. And
you mean like friends and stuff?
Yeah. Like people, like it did not matter. They're probably nice to you, but besides that, because he had to be nice because fucking your grandmother lived right up the road. But everybody else, he was a dick to. Like, and that's why we called him Cool Jim, because he just act up. And it's like, why you gotta be such a penis? What's even better though is my fucking kids call him Cool Jim.
Well, this is Curtis's grandfather, by the way, so no one knows what we're talking about right now.
But he was.
Wow. Okay. So this is all like blowing my mind right now. Cause I was always under the impression he was Cool Jim because he's so fucking cool.
No, complete opposite.
Oh my God. Really?
Oh my God. He was such a dick.
He's never been a dick to me ever.
Oh, exactly. And I just said why.
Yeah, I know. But so you're thinking if
you had
if there wasn't the like relation scenario going on or whatever, like he'd be a dick to me too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird though. They had their favorites. Everybody loved fucking Cowboy Carl.
Yeah.
I think because he was such a face value person, like you couldn't be mad at him because
you're related to him too.
Well, but it's
so there you go. Now we got two people related to you who like get a Cool Jim pass.
Yeah, they get a Cool Jim pass.
Huh.
I think it might have been fucking Phil that coined the Cool Jim.
I do believe that's accurate. Yeah.
Because he was such a dick.
See, that's weird. I feel like Cool Jim would have like got along with Phil really well though.
I think they did do good, but he's just a dick.
Well, like what's like give me some examples of shit he would say. You know, I wish we could like somehow paint a more vivid picture for the listeners of like your grandfather.
I can't do it because I can't like.
He's such a unique fucking personality, dude.
Oh my God, he's something.
So yeah, like what would he say? Like what's some shit he would do? I just picture someone coming in and him like, popping off the chair and coming in and just being a dick.
No, yeah, it wasn't a social. It was like always just like nasty fucking comments and ignorant shit that you're like, dude, I'm fucking walking in here to get something and leaving. And he just start bitching and moaning about stuff. Like I cannot give you specifics, but there's nobody that will argue. Like I think that he used to give like everybody hell, like Mike Smith and Matt. They fucking called him Sneaky all the time. What are you and Sneaky doing? And I was like, motherfucker, dude. And we just be stopping to get something. There's a reason nobody hung out at my fucking house. Because he was such an ass. It was like impossible.
Wow. This is great. This is why I love the podcast. I learn new shit every fucking week. God. Yeah, this is all news to me. I mean, I guess I understand the Sneaky thing though, because they were probably like, because he's always like with your sister all the time and stuff.
I know that's fucked up, right?
So that's probably why they called him that.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't like him because of that shit.
Yeah, Matt. My family and their counterparts didn't always have the greatest love for Matt. Like Karen's boyfriend, I don't know. It was something that rubbed those guys wrong. And like, I don't know what it was. That's what I keep thinking, that Matt's a nicer person than I ever thought he was. And I'm a dick. Like,
well, I mean, you are a dick. So yeah.
But he's like practicing that now. He's like super nice. And like, I think he's doing shit to be an asshole. And he's actually trying to be nice.
Yeah,
it's like it's fucked up. I'm like, I don't understand who you are.
Yeah,
this is not totally what I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that's what I like. I seriously, we got in the car from the last practice, and I looked at Fred, and I'm like, am I wrong, or is Matt nicer now than he was before, or was I just always reading him wrong? Like it was like,
yeah.
So Matt, you're a lot nicer, or at least I see you as a nicer person than you were when we were kids. Though I liked you when we were kids too. So it doesn't fucking matter. But it just I
think it's just like getting older, right? Like you like mellow out a little bit, and things, about your personality kind of upgrade a little bit.
Yeah,
I guess. Or you mellow out.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Damn, the whole cool gym thing's fucking with me right now.
That is fucking hilarious that you actually thought we meant it.
Yeah, like I definitely thought it was like,
no, that could be one of our also special guests, because the people who experienced outside of it, like Dustin and them still laugh at my fucking, anytime they went to my house, my grandmother bitching. Like nobody wanted to go in the fucking house because I was going to get screamed at.
Oh yeah,
like it did not fucking matter.
Oh, your grandmother can. I mean, I love your grandmother to death, but man, she can complain like nobody's business.
Absolutely, and she's really good at it. And she's
pro complainer. Yeah, dude.
Oh shit! Yeah, where your grandmother's all positive and mine's like, rah!
Oh my god, yeah. It's like they like literally. It's funny that they're like such good friends. It's like since childhood and stuff. It's like they could not be like more different. Like their personalities.
Totally fucking agree. It's ridiculous.
Like I could imagine going, like if I went to your grandparents' house right now, it would be like your grandmother would be like, "Oh, hi Jonathan, how's it going? How's California? Well, those goddamn gas prices out there."
Oh my god.
It would be like right into the gas prices.
Oh my god, I know. And
not like how's your life going? Like what's going on? It's like gas is so expensive.
Jesus fuck, dude. Yeah, you're amping me up to go up there tomorrow. Fuck.
Oh, you going up there tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous.
No.
Dude, if I was like super rich, I would literally fly back to like hang out at your grandparents tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Because the first thing I would do is I would walk up to Cool Jim and be like, Kurt said you used to be a dick, and I don't believe it.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. Because and we've been honest with him and told him that's how he got his name. Wasn't because he was cool. Oh no. You know what? And I said this about my dad too, and I'm fucking honest. They both of them, because I didn't talk to my dad for like 7 years.
Yeah.
When I was not a financial liability to them, that's when they were nice to me. No shit, dude. As soon as I moved to Baltimore and like Jim knew I wasn't coming back, he was a different person. And my dad, it was the same. Like he had no desire to talk to me until I was gone, moved away, and like then all of a sudden he was kind of ready. And it's weird. Like I don't get it. It's like,
I can maybe for like Cool Jim, it was like. He was basically going to treat you like a little fucking punk kid until you weren't like a little punk kid anymore, kind of a thing. Like I'm going to treat you like a child until you're not a child.
Yeah.
Like old school sort of mentality.
But it's definitely.
Well, it was the same with my dad. Like my dad and I like barely had a relationship at all until I moved out here. And once I moved out here, it was kind of like, and I wasn't around. It was like, oh, like, it's weird now that like I didn't like take advantage to like do more stuff with him. And now that I don't have that ability, now I see that it's like weird. So that's like when our relationship got better when I moved away.
Yeah. And it's just like, I didn't hate saying it. It was real. Like, I personally don't understand it because I, but I wasn't his kid. Well, I was my dad's son, but I wasn't my grandfather's. So he might have more of a leeway than my dad.
Yeah.
But it was like it's something I can't grasp being a parent. And the fact that like when I got busted, that my biggest concern was losing my kids
Yeah.
over everything else. Like,
Yeah.
I give 3 fucks. It was more about, am I going to lose my opportunity to fucking keep my kids? Because I don't want them with her.
Yeah.
And it was like, and of course, who do you call when you get in trouble? You call your ex, and she is fucking relentless going the other way. And I was like, why did I fucking do that? It was like, she was just like, well, that might fuck things up for you. And I'm like, she's like, I'm gonna have to check with my lawyer. I'm like, fuck, dude, I just want somebody to talk to. This is not the person I want to talk to.
Yeah, you should have called me.
Oh my God.
That would have been a better phone call, probably.
Oh
well,
shit.
my first response probably would have been like, why the fuck did you do that? So I guess fucking getting Virgin X back together.
Oh my God. Yep. Straight edge. What a mandatory straight edge.
That'd be a funny song title. Full circle there. Mandatory straight edge.
Oh my God.
So
that would be for the version reunion tour.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, definitely, like I went my whole complete. So I feel like maybe it was a similar scenario for me. Like I 100% went the straight edge route because of all you guys. Like I never would have known about that shit otherwise. So that was a big part of it. But so you guys were the catalyst for like getting me down that route for a number of years. But I really sort of associated with it in the aspect though that I had like so many like ill people in my family with like cancers and diseases and stuff. So I didn't really have like necessarily like alcoholics in my family. So for me, drinking, I just always associated with it was going to make you unhealthy over time. So I always kind of like the straight edge thing for me was this is sort of a cool accountability thing that's linked in with the music I listen to that also is something I'm already kind of probably going to do anyways. I'm going to stay away from drugs and alcohol because I want to keep myself as healthy as possible because of my family history. And it's definitely the thing that kept me not doing shit for like a really long time. Like I guess I was maybe like quote unquote straight edge for like 2 or 3 years in my teens. And then there was like this one high school party where I did drink. It was like the first time I ever really like drank to get drunk. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I drank way too much and I got alcohol poisoning and got really sick. I was probably like 17. And that was the moment where I was like, drinking sucks. Like I was already like not drinking anyway. And then I like stepped over the line because I wanted to experiment and it went really wrong. And then that's when after that, I was like 16 at the time. And after that, I didn't drink another drop of alcohol until I was like 33 years old.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good for you.
But then once I learned how to drink responsibly and not get alcohol poisoning, I was like from 33 to like 40, I was on like a pretty good tear of like drinking a good bit to like, I was like making up. I still wasn't drinking like that much, but making up for lost time kind of thing. Like, oh, I know how to go out and have a drink or two and have fun and like loosen up and stuff. And like, it was fun, but now I'm pretty much back to like not drinking anymore. But
yeah. So I never had that gear. It was
you're neutral to fourth every time.
Yeah. In getting hungover and fucking crippled the next day didn't bother me.
Oh, wow.
There was not a deterrent.
Oh, see, I'm such a hangover pussy, dude. Like if I
It
get a
was-
small hangover, I'm like, oh, I'm not drinking for like 6 fucking months, and I usually probably won't.
and I'm such a tight bitch that if I'm not drinking to get drunk, I'm not going to spend the $8 to buy a fucking beer because that's pointless. I've wasted effort. Like I might as well just drink my soda and walk away.
Well, I'm the same way, but I'm a lightweight. So I like, even after, like whatever, like a decade of light to moderate drinking, I'm still a lightweight. So I can go to a bar and have like whatever, like a margarita, like I can have 2 margaritas and I'm good. Or like whatever I might be had vodka cranberry, like whatever I'm drinking, because I don't drink beer really.
You are a man's man ish. Not really.
Yeah, I don't really drink beer much at all. Like I had some few years where I was drinking beer, but I just don't like it that much. I never really have. I definitely, if I'm going to drink, I prefer liquor, and it's just, you don't have to drink as much. But I mean, honestly, I would say the biggest like edge break, face break for me was discovering that I like love marijuana. So like I
Shit,
prefer,
didn't mean to laugh into the
Yeah.
fucking mic.
I prefer
God.
smoking weed like exponentially greater to drinking. And it's funny because as a little kid, I mean, like I talked about this on a previous episode, how my house that I grew up in before my parents split up, it was like the party house, and my house reeked of pot like all the time. And even as a little kid, like I loved the smell of pot as a little kid. I didn't know what it was, but I loved the smell of it. And even like from little kid to in my early 30s when I started smoking weed, like if I was ever somewhere where someone was smoking pot, like when we started hanging out with No Redeeming all the time and we were at shows with them and they were blazing like backstage and stuff, I was like, oh my God, fucking smells so good. Like I love the smell of weed, but I was like, but I don't smoke it. Like it's fine. And then the very first time I was like, I cannot go my whole life without trying weed because like I love the smell of it. I want to know what it's like to be high. Like I want to know that feeling. Like I can't go through life without knowing what this is. And then the first time I did it, I was like, oh, this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Cool.
Oh my God. How fucking crazy is that? So the boys have went opposite directions. Like I'd rather drink than smoke. And it's like they flip flop. Like one of them likes to drink over smoke, and then the other one likes to smoke over drink. So it's like,
oh, which is funny. Which? Cooper drinks,
and then Gavin's got his card.
Yeah, I can. That totally makes sense. I definitely, just growing up around the boys and stuff, I definitely would say that Cooper probably has more of those tendencies than Gavin.
You would be right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy just to think that they're like at that age where they're doing shit like that. Yeah. But yeah, hey, I don't know. Like drinking's cool. Like I said, I fuck with it when I'm feeling like it, but like I can shut that shit off completely. Like if I'm feeling like I want to drink, I'll drink a little bit, but then I can also not drink for months and I'm like completely okay with it. But even like, I would say that even in my heaviest weed smoking phases that I've been in the last 15 years or whatever it's been, like I am still on like the extreme low end of probably what people would consider like, like I've never been like a heavy smoker. Like people who smoke every day multiple times, I've never been like that. Like I'm kind of like, if we're playing a show, get a little buzz in the parking lot before we play, or like in the evenings, maybe right before bed or something, just like get a little buzz to go to sleep. But
I'm living it, but yeah. Oh, but you can hear the trips to the pot shed just about 10:30.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. It's funny too. And like, it's different for everybody. Like, obviously I'm not trying to condone drug use or whatever, but like, it's just some people can stop doing stuff when they want to, and some people can't, so it's like, I think if you have the personality where you can shut things off and you can take a break and you're fine with it, like, I think there's nothing wrong with fucking around with some shit. But if like you're someone like you who is so obsessed with alcohol that you like are like you, when you were saying about how much you love like alcohol culture and like graphic design of alcohol, and it's like you're going into it way more than like I think anybody ever thinks about it.
The fucking counselor, dude, his fucking head was blown. Like, because I was just like upfront and honest with it. I like beer, I like collecting beer shit. I like memorabilia. I'm like, it's like the whole culture. I love it.
Yeah.
And it just, once again, I was a little bit more open than I probably should have been. But
yeah. Well, and that's good though. I mean, maybe like you being so honest maybe help some other people maybe think about how they were responding in this class or whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Everybody they weren't as open.
Yeah. Well, I definitely can say for a fact that, and like I said, I'm certainly not trying to be like, everybody's got to find their own journey with things that they're doing. But, so I'm not like trying to be like some major proponent of smoking weed or anything, but I will say that for me personally, I'm glad that I finally did do it. And I'm glad that I waited as long as I did to do it, because I think I smoked weed for the first time when I was like 32 or 33.
Wow.
And I definitely, being that age, your mind, your 33-year-old mind is way different than like your 14-year-old mind.
Yeah.
So I was definitely coming into it with like, already like a number of years of just life experience. And, I was never a partier anyway. So like I was getting into it, not even from like a party aspect. I was just like, I just want to try it to see what it does for me. And then honestly, that was the moment that led me down the path of just becoming so much more open to like listening to different types of music. Like if probably I would never be where I'm at right now in my musical journey if it wasn't for getting into smoking pot, like 100%. Like that is, I would never be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for that. Like I owe my musical journey to like getting into smoking weed 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord of the Ganja, for taking me on this journey.
Yeah.
Showing me the ways of the weed.
Yeah. It's crazy though. Like I mean, I've talked to other people who, and it's funny too, because friends of mine who I met once I moved out here, who were like smoking a ton of weed around me and stuff. They like everyone that I've ever met in my life who knew that I like didn't smoke weed as a kid and in my 20s, like in all the bands I was in and stuff. They're like, everyone's amazed by that.
Yeah.
When I tell them like, like I didn't smoke weed in Bomb Threat. I didn't smoke weed in Craven More. Like none of those bands, like I was straight sober in all those bands. I didn't drink or anything. So it's like,
that's not a bad thing.
But it's funny to think about. Like I was technically straight edge in Bomb Threat. So it's like, that's like hilarious if you think about it.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, we went down so many fucking crazy rabbit holes today, but I don't know. I think we stayed on topic kind of for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because we started out with the straight edge thing. I was stoked in the Instagram feed. A Swatch ad popped up and the fucking straight edge Swatch popped up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'd like to have that.
Oh, and you know what? Those, if you have like early models of those, they're like worth so much money, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
That's basically like the Judge Chung King of watches. Is essentially what that watch is. Like they're like hella expensive. Oh man, there was something else I was gonna bring up really quick before we finish.
We have that.
Oh, what
the
was
Judge Chung King.
Oh, you guys have that?
Uh-huh.
I think Gabe might have had that.
I think he had it too. Yeah.
I think you and Gabe are like the only people I know that ever had that record. Because I remember it was cool. Like I'd go down to Gabe's and like look at it because I was like, oh man, like this is the only time I'll ever see this. Like, I'm never gonna buy this.
Yeah, dude, he had like he had like the Beastie Boys 7-inch. He had
Yeah.
like the Youth of Today, Can't Close My Eyes as a 7-inch versus 12-inch. Like it was crazy some of the shit he had.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a lot of really bizarre, weird, rare records. And like, how did you
Yeah.
even like know this existed kind of a thing? But the thing I was going to say, because you brought up Instagram, how we were kind of like shit talking social media last weekend. So wait till you hear this. I got this fucking email yesterday and I was like, I like immediately thought about last week's episode and I'm like, fuck social media. Like I'm so ready to fucking quit out on social media. I get an email. It's through our Spacewax email for the band. And it's an email from Instagram. And it's like, you need to like log into your Instagram account. There's a message for you from Instagram, whatever, like headquarters or whatever the fuck it is. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? I thought it was a scam at first, but I was like, no, this is like legit email and stuff. So I got in. So they removed one of our videos off of our Instagram that was a promotional video that I created for when our new record came out at the beginning of the year.
Because you didn't have the rights for the music?
And they fucking took one of our videos down because of there being a rights claim. I'm like, no, but like, I fucking own this song. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, how am I like not allowed to put up a song that and like, whatever, like in the band, we like always like songwriting credits are like, we wrote them as the band. Right. So it's like, it's not like any of us have like sole credits or whatever, but in this case, I literally did write that song in the band. So it's like, that's a song that I actually did write that they're saying I can't use.
That's fucked up.
I'm like, so now there's like this whole, and like, I don't care that much. It's like, that video doesn't need to get put back up, but it's like, I have to like go through this appeal process and shit to like get the video put back. I'm like, fuck and suck my dick.
So there was a podcast I listened to and they didn't write the music, but they got full permission from the artist to use the music.
Yeah.
But they shut or demonetized it because they didn't have the rights to the music technically. And I was like, oh my, it's just fucking ridiculous.
But I'm like, I don't understand how that even works. Like, how do they even like determine that?
So I did one of the videos for The Office and I took a Split Lip Rayfield song and like chopped the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And it was fine, but they sent back to me, YouTube did, is like, you're getting demonetized because of X to Z. Like what happens at this portion of this song is copyrighted by somebody else. I was like, that is fucking crazy. Wow. Like they must have an algorithm that matches up with shit that exists or is on Google Music, and they bounce back and like just, I guess, check against it. It's fucking nuts.
It's weird. I mean, I guess like there's like, I guess trying my best to play devil's advocate, I guess, but like, so all of our names, like in the band, all of our real names are associated with the songwriting credits. And then, but our names aren't really associated with our Instagram account in any way. So I guess there's really no way for them to like confirm that, like, yeah, your Instagram says you're Spacewax, but like, we don't really know if you're the quote unquote Spacewax.
But didn't you say somebody sent an email that said they own the song and you didn't?
I mean, that's basically what it's like. It's like they're saying like, you aren't the rights holder of this music. I'm like, but I am though. I'm one of 3 people that own this song.
Right. It's so crazy.
Because the label, the label doesn't own our song because our deal has worked out that like we still like, they basically make the hard goods, but we like own the music.
Right. I mean, I think for like our genres of music, it's pretty typical. But yeah, it's nuts. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like I have so much other shit to deal with. It's like now I have to like in addition to my already full plate, I need to like battle with Instagram to get like a video re-put back up. Like, fuck off.
So Amanda got put on the trial. There was like a new form or a new operating system, I guess, for the iPads, and it is the fucking devil.
Oh,
like the fucking volume comes on and you can't turn it off. There's no way to mute anything anymore. It's like, and it's like she follows a shit ton of people, and it's like every third or fourth post is actually people she follows. The rest of it's ads, and other shit. And it's
beta, it's like doing beta stuff of anything is like not a good idea, I don't think.
I do not grasp why. I understand tweaking, but changing is the issue. And I guess it's all about monetization, and stuff like that. But
they start, you know, they get all the data of people's like user habits, and then they're like, how can we, you know, people are looking at the screen this way, moving their finger in this way, like where can we like put stuff in the UI to make it like more graphically pleasing that people are going to click shit and like take action on things to like make money. I mean, that's what it's all about, dude.
So it was awesome. On the way to Jersey, there was a fucking billboard. It was like, try to swipe this. So it was actually saying like the power of the billboard. Like for the 45 seconds I had it in sight, I couldn't not look at it. Whereas Instagram has on to the next. It was funny. It was clever.
Oh, dude. Yeah, YouTube's gotten brutal. Like YouTube used to be like watching YouTube on TV, because I have a ad blocker on my computer for YouTube, but on the TV, man, and like maybe there's a way to do this. If anyone knows how to do YouTube ad blocking on a TV, let me know, because YouTube ads on the TV have gotten so brutally like overblown, man. It's like, it used to be maybe you get an ad every once in a while, and now it's just like fucking constantly. And it's like every video you watch starts off with like 2 or 3 ads.
Yeah,
you can't always skip them, and then it gets to the middle. It's like, and I've known this for years. I'm like, YouTube's going to be like this for like a decade, and then all of a sudden they're just going to like pummel you with ads and try to get you to buy the premium version. But it's like, nope, not doing it. So if anybody has some hacks, let me know.
So I think we have the premium version.
Yeah.
Because Cooper got it. I don't know why, but he got it because I don't fucking do that shit. But I think we've used it, and I think I still get commercials on it. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Are you serious?
I believe so. I could be wrong. Cooper, confirm or deny.
Yeah. If I bought that premium shit and I saw a fucking commercial, I would fucking rip my TV off the wall and throw it.
So what's sad is, and I get picked on. So I support this English fucking archaeology program, and I'm a Patreon, but they don't have a specific feed. So anytime they post shit up, I still have to watch all the fucking commercials, and it drives me nuts because I'm like, no, dude, I'm giving you money to produce this shit. I shouldn't have to watch your commercials too.
Yeah.
Like, I get it because, you know, they're self-funded and they're doing all this shit, but it's like, fuck. It's like, help a brother out.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. Like, and I'm not opposed to paying for something, because I watch a lot of YouTube. So, I mean, if I can't figure out a free way to do it, I'll probably eventually pay. Because honestly, dude, I can't. I mean, I've always hated commercials, but I can't do it anymore. Like when we were on vacation, we were watching some TV, and the amount of commercials on just like standard cable TV is so ridiculous. It's like, it's basically you're paying to watch commercials. It's like, there's like, by the time whatever you're watching actually comes back around and comes back on, you like fucking forget what you're even watching half the time, because it's like so many like gaps in between. So
yeah, it's
in comparison, 8-second ads on YouTube is like, you know, not that big of a deal, really, I guess. But it's just when you're used to not seeing anything, and then all of a sudden you have to start watching shit, and it's like shit that has nothing to do with anything you're interested in, and then it's like really bad.
Oh,
like,
my God.
What, like just the most random shit, like fishing line, or like I don't know, whatever.
Oh my god. I get ones and it's like ads for something that, oh shit, I'm trying to think that I had like a really good example. It's like either what I was watching was the complete opposite of what the ad was for. It was like there was such a conflict in between the advertisement and what the content was. It was like, why would you show me this? Why would you show me this?
Yeah, I don't mind ads as much if it's maybe something that pertains to an interest I have and it's like compelling enough I may watch it or something. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, well, the last thing I do want to bring up really quick is
we do nothing quickly.
So I was so hyped when you sent me that text the other day. So I know we've been talking a lot on the last few episodes about coming out with merch, and we have some designs. I have a couple designs I worked on, like resurrecting some old stuff that we're gonna do some stuff with that are cool. But Curtis came up with our first Pottycast shirt design, and it's fucking incredible. And I can't wait to offer these to people because I think you're all going to be really stoked on them.
Oh my god, it made me laugh. Like it definitely came out better than I wanted it to.
Yeah, so I was completely blown away because I didn't realize you were going to. I mean, obviously it's the photo you showed me, but I thought you were gonna just like use the photograph. I didn't realize you were gonna like go full illustration style. So when you sent me that, I was like, what the fuck? This is like amazing. And like, honestly, dude, like you did like a really good job on that. Like that's one of the, it's hard to do that. It's hard to like vectorize shit like that and make it like look good. And I think that you like knocked it out of the park with that.
Gracias, senor.
Yeah.
I think I was, because I told Amanda I was like, I have a style. It's definitely a style.
Yeah.
And I stole it from the dude, not the guy who did Faust, but this guy did Night Vision. I think he ended up doing like art for Magic cards, but he's got this like crazy black and white style, and it's like I just love it. And that's what I try to kind of mimic every time I draw something.
Well, when we did that episode a while back with talking about sort of like your art career episode and all that stuff, when I was going through my archives, I didn't post it up just because, not that I didn't think you would like care or anything, but I don't know. It just, there was some stuff in it that I was like, maybe not that it was anything questionable or anything, but just, I don't know. It was more of like a non-band related item that I sort of wanted you to see it first.
Oh,
just because it was like it's like personal art. So I don't know. I just didn't want to like blast it out if you're like, oh, I'd rather that not be out there. But it's cool. It's like a one sheet of a bunch of like individual drawings that you had done, like all compiled into like almost like a portfolio sheet. But like all this stuff on there is definitely like what you're describing. It's all like sort of like the comic book looking characters you would draw and stuff like that.
Right. Oh, cool. I don't give a shit. I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take a picture. Well, I'll just post it up then if you don't care. But yeah, it's really cool. It's like a bunch of one of the drawings actually is, I think maybe a panel that was from a lawn dart cover, but then some of the other ones were maybe one of them is like actually maybe from one of your tattoos. And then there's another one that I think is maybe one of the like initial early like Raquel Darien.
Oh, awesome. Oh yeah, definitely fucking post them up.
Yeah. Which also, that's funny. That just made me think about this. And this is actually something we should maybe save for another episode, but I'll just throw the seed out now. But Mad Butcher. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
we'll save that.
Yeah, let's save that. But that just talking about that artwork made me think about Mad Butcher. So
nice.
Because I still have shit of that I can post up. So
you got the card Dustin made me?
I have some stuff. I have maybe like a tracing paper of the logo.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. You got more shit than I do.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. So let's wrap it up. Say
Yeah.
adios. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We'll,
Yeah, that was a fun episode. That one
that
felt
definitely
good.
went different than yeah. But if you have either bands that got better with time, or what was it, the bands who basically blew their load in the first 3 or 4 albums and now petered out and are putting shit out,
Yeah.
post them up.
Yeah. Yeah. Help us keep the game going. It's fun. I kind of like starting out the episodes doing that.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I want to think for the next episode. So this is what we should do for the next one is I'll think of a band or two and you think of a band or two to give each other for the song title game.
Okay.
Because there's this weird part of me that just wants to prove how embarrassed I can be by like failing at that game, because I know I'm gonna fail.
Oh, I'm sure, because there's definitely shit I listened to. I had no clue. So you can't do Ringworm because I have no clue what any of their fucking song titles are.
Yeah,
except for like
that's what I'm
Hammer
saying,
the
dude.
Witch, and there's like 2 songs I actually know the fucking names for, especially anything past the first album. Like if I could name 3 songs, I'll be lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I fucking love it, listen to it, just have no clue what they're called.
No, I hear you, man. There's definitely an element of that game that it's almost like a checks and balances system for me, because it's like I'm always like, man, I'm like such an uber fan to this band, and then like when I have to name 3 songs, I'm like, fuck, maybe I'm not an uber band. I need to like brush up on my fucking homework.
It's weird. Yeah, I'll have to think of a couple.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well,
all right.
Thanks for listening, and yeah, see you next time.
Woohoo! Party on, Wayne.
Party on, guys. This podcast was brought to you by Potty Mouth Records. Contact us at pottymouthrecords@gmail.com and find us on the web at pottymouthrecords.rocks. That's .rocks.